Welcome back to the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series Season 5, Day 1. I hope you guys had a phenomenal break. We did as well, but we missed you. I'm Spaceman. That's Fox and Allie. They're my two wonderful, amazing analysts. And this is North American time, baby. Welcome back to Domestic Turf. And welcome back to Roster Mania Chaos. Because North America has turned into like a money eights pit. It's hilarious. A lot of stories we need to get through, but more importantly, a lot of teams we got to talk about. And speaking of which, why don't we look at the teams actually in this region? There is a lot of them. Couple of roster changes which we will hint on, but Fox, welcome back from the break, man. Look at the teams we got here. We've gotten some interesting name changes, but also some unfamiliar faces currently up in this entire region, like UYU. Talk to me about what you're seeing across the board.
Lots of exciting stuff coming in our North American competition. We have Parasite back once again with an all-new roster. He's going to be teaming alongside some of the guys on Lore Gaming there. Of course, the rest of the rosters here qualifying just recently on the 26th, including Jabbawockeez, Team Canada. Lots of new faces here, as well as some returning ones in the form of UYU and, of course, our champions, Trash Bros.
Ali, UYU is back in the thick of things. We saw them, it feels like, what, a full year ago, right? During Modern Warfare season when they had a stellar roster and Jintroid was on it for some time. But looking at everyone else here, UT Crew bringing things back, but Trash Bros are our defending champions in Season 4 in North America. They keep all four across the board. Is there any team currently here in Season 5 that you've kept your eye on or that's interesting to you, or any roster that stayed the same that you're keeping your eye on?
I guess the only thing that's specifically interesting to me is that how in our EU region earlier, we talk about how teams don't typically make that many roster changes in the Europe region, where in NA, it's typically like 8 lobby until the very last day that they can lock in rosters. And the only team that really hasn't done that, I feel like, has been built by gamers. And they're kind of like Team War to me in a sense, where they have consistently been in that top conversation, but have yet to really have their big breakthrough. So I'm interested to see how they come out today.
I am so glad you brought that up, because Built by Gamers are, again, one of those rosters outside of like a single roster change after Season 1. They've kept the same exact core group before, and not only are they continually doing better each season, but they find ways to be currently #1 in the standings in pro points. They are the most consistent team in North America, and this, I believe, is their season to get the job done. But let's look at the actual schedule itself, because there's a lot on the line, and more importantly, there are a lot of teams playing. Well, here is what it looked like earlier today. We had Elevate for Europe versus Amelia Strays. They 3-0. Belgium Power versus GCPW. That was an exciting one that went to Game 5, and Belgium Power closed it out 3-2. Coming up, we got Trash Bros versus Jabbawockeez and Lore Gaming versus UT Crew. This first one is a rematch of the winner semifinals from the North American playoffs for Season 4 all the way back a month ago. Trash Bros versus what was known as the System, now known as Jabbawockeez. Of course, that team consisting of Zinx, Decimate, Fellow, and Sib. Trash Bros is Mock, Hollow, Jintroid, and Ulysses. And Ulysses has shot up in the power rankings for North America, Fox. Like, Clayster put out a tweet when they were having some issues with getting a scene back, and they basically said, who's a challenger's sub currently who's really, really good? Ulysses was getting a lot of ats under that tweet. He has really become a force in North America. Talk to me about what it means for a player like that to have a standout season and get recognized by some pros. Allie, looking at kind of how Ulysses has risen through the ranks, right? He's had a very successful Season 4. Now you're getting recognition for people at the top, but not only that, you have a championship under your belt. For a young player, what does it mean to be able to have a standout season and then also get recognized by top talent in the CDL?
It's definitely an exciting moment, but it's also, you kind of got to keep yourself grounded in those moments, because even though you're getting recognized by pros and stuff, it doesn't mean that, that you've made it just quite yet. So for him to still be competing in the challenger scene and getting a chance to be on a team like Trash Bros with Mock, with Hollow, with Jintroid, finding their success, he's just continuing his legacy and his success right now, and that's really important for him, especially with that many eyes watching him. He can't, be comfortable where he's at right now. He needs to kind of keep pushing, and that's a lot of pressure to be put onto him.
Yeah, and Fox, you talked about earlier saying, like, Parasite's back, and we've had this discussion about teams making roster changes at the last minute. Not only did Parasite, get locked into a roster and then subsequently dropped and then picked up another team right before the deadline, but we see players like TJ Halley, like Methods, like Frosty, who didn't get through to the Challengers Elite Series, you know, they get relegated out, and there was a lot of different discussions about why that might have taken place. We saw Frosty go on the flank with Zuma and talk about it, but we always thought that pros dropping down from the CDL would have an easy time down here. I think it shows that you can't just drop down and pick up a team and win. You have to put in the work, a lot like what these Challenger players have done. Talk to me about the landscape has looked like in North America with pros coming down and not finding immediate success.
That's absolutely right. I think that we saw Parasite touch on it very nicely just last week on Twitter, actually. It was pretty self-congratulatory, but he was still on the right vein in the fact that what he brought as an individual to the Challenger Series was just this sense of structure, this sense of really needing to focus on your job ahead of you and the task ahead of you and working together. And I think it's really done a beautiful thing for the Challenger Series.
I love the way you said that the structure currently that a lot of these players have is so crucial, and having teammates stick together like Trash Bros has done, like the formerly known The System team has done here on your screen. It is so important to find consistency in your gameplay and try to work through those problems together. Shout out BBG. We'll see them at some point. But now into map 1 and the first series of North America here for stage 5. I am joined by the wonderful Allie, and I am so excited to get into this one.
Very excited indeed, as already a very scrappy P1 as we jump right into it. A couple seconds going the side of Jabbawockeez, but nothing too solitary yet. But Fellow has started off 3-0, so a hot start for him, as well as it looks like they're on rotation. Number 6, though, that's going to be Mock that gets a good early rotation to the side of Trash Bros, and if he gets another one, he does. He might just secure spawns for the P2.
And Mock was your KD leader in stage 4 at a 1.22 overall, and then a 1.22 again in hardpoint. So he was entirely too good for the entire scene to handle, and he walked away with the championship to show for it. But if he continues to be that same factor here, it's going to be very difficult to take down this Trash Bros team. Sure, they didn't have the same replica of success in the Open Cup, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is what you do in this tournament. Starting off at 3-2 with Hollow currently at Main Street, looking for Fellow who might be challenging towards the bottom of P1, but so far everything about even as we go into P2, and nobody's really contesting the point. Jintroid basically finds 1 kill and everything else is about neutral.
Jabbawockeez, we're hoping for a little bit of a slow collapse onto this hill, but as the time dwindles down, there's only about 20 seconds left for them to attempt to contest, so that's all 60 going the way of Trash Bros. And Jabbawockeez, although they are on rotation, they have to get a full 60 here. They want to gain back their lead. They do have spawns right now, and they are getting set up, but all Trash Bros are looking to make their way through mid.
And this is one of the situations, right? You try to link P2 and P3 together. They are so difficult when it comes to trying to get a full 60 on each hill because you have to full stack currently in P3. And speaking of full stacking all the time, shout out to our observing team, Shane and Kyle. They are so good at bringing us the very best gameplay and always being on the right play. One of the hardest jobs currently in the industry is being at the best position possible, and not only being on the right POV, but giving us the best gameplay. We couldn't do what we do without them, so we thank them for being them. Hollow on your screen at 6-3 on a 3 spree, getting somewhat close to streaks, but Jintroid at 7-2, working through the back library, holding on to these spawns is massive for Trash Bros. You got 2 in around the hill as well. Ulysses the only one inside. Jintroid trying to play his life, sees Fellow in front, dipping and diving, but Fellow throws out shots. Mock might get the call to rotate in and come for the cleanup, and it looks like that will be it. Six the only one left in the back to challenge. He's able to find one as Ulysses drops. Hollow will take down Decimate, and well, they hold on to that front push and they hold on to the collapse. Zink's working through the back, but so far so good for Trash Bros.
Which should have been an easy hold for Jabbawockeez. Quickly got dismantled as all of Trash Bros pushed in through mid, got the kill in the back, and rotated out of spawns. Now going into our next hill, Trash Bros have a comfortable 50-point plus lead here. They can take their time to collapse onto all of Jabbawockeez. Fellow trying to get in the back, but his teammates are just dropping on the kill cam. No time going to either side just yet, as all of Trash Bros are pushing up street, and there goes 2 on the side of Yuli. 100-point mark has been broken. Jabbawockeez only have 36 seconds on the hill. They are just not getting any foothold in this game whatsoever.
Jintroid being a guardian angel, and Ulysses just gets the trophy down in time, and he continues to fight that challenge all the way back at Bus. The spawns are back there again for Jabbawockeez, but you're still looking at pressure on the outskirts of the hill. But don't worry, Trash Bros are at mid-map, and they're shutting down everything. Finally, 3 kills in the kill feed, all red. Jabbawockeez might have a chance to break here, but with only 15 seconds, you're already thinking about P1 and those rotations, so we start to slow down just a little bit. Fellow able to pick up 2 kills in a massive time, but you still have to worry about the next set of hills spawning out towards P3. It's Trash Bros who have to make the long rotation through Eskies. Decimate doesn't spot anyone, but this is a perfect setup right now for Jabbawockeez. They're already thinking about going to P2, but they just get all cleared, and that's a full team dead. It looked good, and then it collapsed so quickly.
Jabbawockeez unfortunately getting very outslayed here from the side of Trash Bros. I mean, all of that commitment into that last hill just to leave Zinx on his own to possibly get P1, but he loses the rotational gunfight, the mock, and that gives Trash Bros the earlier beginnings of the seconds. Now, they do finally get into P1. They are going to get some time going their way, but they have to worry about rotation. 30 seconds on the clock. It's not going to be enough to put them back in this game, but should they get that early rotation wins, it might as well.
I mean, if Fellow's shooting like this, you leave him alone inside the hill to contest or get time, get everyone else rotating out. Sib, who at 9 and 11 needs to start going huge on those outskirts, but people are quickly dropping, and Jintroid will bite the last bullet, finding fights at the top of the minimap, and walking away victorious is Ulysses. Trash Bro still holding on to P2 spawns. Fellow still alive in the hill on an 8 spree, getting close to streaks, and he should have all of them. He will. Now we go to P2 in rotation, and again, when it comes to getting breaks, Jabbawockeez have not been that successful, but here comes streaks to make things a little bit easier. Spots Ulysses, can't clean up the kill. Jintroid coming off spawn won't get tagged, so you invest in at least a cruise missile, and it gets literally nothing. Jabbawockeez have invested in quite a bit. Now they move into P2, and now they need to get the kills.
It gets nothing, but a couple kills do start going their way, but Des falls, Fellow and Sib find 2, and finally, they might have spawns in the back here, but pay attention to the Zinx on your minimap. He's going to be coming from the front side. He's going to probably catch Uli off guard, as he will most likely fall, and no time is still going to either side. Both very scrappy, hardpoint that's typically usually a money hill on P2, and all of Trash Bros now getting favorable spawns going into next. 20 seconds left. Jabbawockeez have closed the gap just a little bit, 138 to 94. By the end of this, they will break that 100-point mark, but again, Trash Bros are already on the rotation, and Trash Bros have done a fantastic job of holding and not allowing Jabbawockeez to break through.
Now, if you talk about maps where you chain hardpoints together, of course, Checkmate comes up first to mind, but also Moscow, where you chain P2, 3, and 4 all the way through. You can get a full, solid 100 points combined if you're successful, but now we're going to see the investment of the rest of the streaks. At least Fellow's getting information, but he calls in the artillery, and Decimate's the only one in the kill feed who finds anything, so he gets a single kill, and that's about it for Fellow. You've been playing so well, but you invested all of the streaks on just 2 hills, and it's taken about 50 seconds off the clock. They don't have the lead, they don't have the streaks, and they don't have the kills nor the time. Trash Bros are currently inside with 30 to fight over, but they're not getting contested. They found everything on the outside. They're locking spawns, and they're already thinking about P4. And this is just a complete disaster at the moment. Jabbawockeez need to turn it around.
Fellow doing the absolute most he could do for his team across the board. Those Zinx is sitting at 18 and 8 and 17. Des 9 and 16. Sib is trying to hang on there with a 14 and 16, but you look at Trash Bros. I mean, Yuli's going 7 and 9. Jintroid 7 and 13. Mock 11 and 15, but he has 48 seconds in the hill, and Hollow is even across the board. Trash Bros are looking unstoppable, even with Fellow going 19 and 2, and all streaks are now wasted. Time going their favor finally as 2 fall on the side of Trash Bros, but they answer with 2 of their own. Jabbawockeez are spawning on old, and all Trash Bros know this. Jabbawockeez need to shut this down now, or else Trash Bros will be breaking that 200-point mark before Jabbawockeez even reach 150.
20 and 9 for Ulysses, that frontline sub. I mean, he finds the initial so easily. Now it's more challenging. Ulysses is just different. He's going to get shot in the back purely because he wasn't looking in the direction, but there is a reason why we were all adding him under Clayster's tweet. Who is one of the best subs currently in North American Challengers? Ulysses is that guy, and they have a lead because of him, but Jabbawockeez are inside the point. They're going to try to 3-stack and move out towards Bank, going back to P1 and our 3rd set of hills and our 3rd set of rotations, but you also have to worry about spawn. How do you play for a favorable side? Well, Ulysses gets 2, Mock gets the other, and that's a full 4 dead. Jabbawockeez now have to do all of the work coming off spawn.
Jabbawockeez have consistently been unable to break Trash Bros, and now as they call in streaks as well, they need to start changing up their pace. Jabbawockeez need to be getting on that early rotation and making that commitment for the early hold. They keep going for all of this scrap time and making that commitment and just throwing bodies towards the Trash Bros side of things, allowing Yuli to go things like 24 and 11 and get streaks. Now they are going to be able to get into time. The streaks do get called to fall on the side of Trash Bros. 30 seconds left in the P1. Trash Bros still in favorable spawns, but Jabbawockeez looking to close the gap.
They've been in the situation before, just Fellow go, right? Jabbawockeez got into P1 early. It was Fellow lighting up the kill feed. Trash Bros were like, fine, you take those 30 seconds, we'll rotate out, we'll win P2. I think we saw Ulysses call in streaks just for pings. I don't know if he actually fully put them on the map, so he might still have those in his back pocket as Zinx is doing everything he can to keep Jabbawockeez in this game. With shots like that, it will work, but Ulysses putting some out of his own, and with the dip and dive and around the truck, he is successful. 195 to 151, contest still on P1, but our attention is now swung back to P2, and Ulysses is at Main Street looking for more gunfights. So far, he finds one.
What an important gunfight for Yuli to win there, as he then gains his team spawns for P2 as well. Now Jabbawockeez have to once again force their way in. Mock looking to get a couple free kills onto this hill as they start lining up. He does get shut down. Jabbawockeez finally able to take a breather as they're looking to gain a couple of points off of this P2. But Trash Bros, they've already broken 200 points, and Yuli is pulling in streaks once again. That is the last situation Jabbawockeez wants to be in when they're just starting to heat up.
201 to 164. You can't win it here, so we're going to a P3. And you know teams like to 4-stack, so if you're lucky, and if you're Jabbawockeez, you clear them out, and you have time to get back in this game. But you have to contest somewhere, Sib, with a massive gunfight win. One more in front, but no worries. Jintroid will be there to clean up the early damage and put some down of his own. 216 and counting. They can win it on the next hill. Jabbawockeez giving up the last bit of scrap time, and they'll set up for P3. They need a full 60 here to come back in this game and essentially get close to tying this one up. But that means getting the kills on the outskirts. Decimate has to worry about the flank through the back, and Hollow working through bank. Now, Fellow set up ready and waiting with AR in hand. If he finds one or two, he does his job. Here come Ulysses, and here comes Hollow. Hollow drops, Ulysses puts shots, but Fellow is better, and Fellow finds two. Jintroid on the right side of the minimap, and Hollow and Ulysses come back off spawn. Mock trying to work through the very front, and Bull rush his way in, but no one's touching, and you need to get back in the hill. Sib rotates out with a sub. Sib can't find anything. He gets shut down. The collapse is there, and the kills are there for Mock. Everyone falling. Hollow picks up Fellow. What a break, and what a hold, and what a pull. Trash Bros get back in the hill, and they can win it here.
I mean, Fellow was an absolute turret in the respawn, not allowing Trash Bros to push into the back. And you know what they did? They said, you know what, fine, we'll ignore you, Fellow. We'll push through the front, we'll get the kills early, and then they'll turn it around into the deep back and also pick up Fellow in the end. Fellow is 26 and 18. There's not much more he could possibly do for his team, as Trash Bros are just putting on a clinic. 240 to 187. They could win it on this hill. Jabbawockeez would have to play perfect hard point here if they want to make any sort of a comeback.
Yeah, you just got to contest everything, Allie. That's the only win factor here. Fellow trying to move his way in, but Mock is in the bus behind his sink. Can he get anything? Finds one, shooting everything except the players in front, and Jintroid just puts him in the dirt. Decimate tries the same thing. Jintroid with two massive kills, but Civ, works through the back. They finally get their way in. 190 to 247. All you need is one break. Trash Bros, you can slow the game down, take your time, go for an orchestrated hit, and you win this game. Fellow has a lot of work cut out for him. 26 and 19, carrying his team through this game. But how much will it take? You have to worry about P1 and getting right back into the swing of things on our fourth set of hills. Civ fighting a huge 1v1 inside bank. All it takes is one break. They're inside. No one else around to contest. And Trash Bros will very easily, in the end, take this one 250 to 205.
Even though it came a little bit close at times, looks like Trash Bros were completely in control for most of the map, and I almost thought they were going to give up that last P4 and just maybe wait for the rotation on P1, but when you're playing teams to this caliber, they made the smart move to make that collapse and make that commitment onto that last 20 seconds to get their last 4 seconds to close out the game, because the last thing you want to do is give a roster like Fellow, like Sib, like Des, like Zinx, any sort of foothold to make that any sort of comeback, because should they have gotten that last 30 seconds, suddenly you're at 230 to 246, and that is a lot scarier of a game. So Trash Bros, I mean, they look impeccable.
Here are the replays from map 1, and looking at that P3, I thought where Fellow was positioned, this is the perfect opportunity to get a full 50-60. You're right back in this game, but yeah, then you have to win it on P4. Still, it's entirely doable, but the break from the front was so good. Sib tried to move out and watch the cut with the sub. Unfortunately, he got shut down, and then everything else kind of crumbled after that. Fellow drops in the back, you lose that spawn break, you lose the ability to lock down library. Sib couldn't do anything at that point, and Ulysses through the front, working with Jintroid and Mock. I mean, it's just clinical, fundamental Call of Duty, and they did it so well. They made things look easy, and breaking hills is difficult, but if you're good at it as a team, you can rely on that in late game situations. They did it there, and there's even Ulysses' disgusting two-piece that really opened up that P4 hill. It just always seemed like there was an answer, right? And whenever you needed a big two-piece or a big team wipe, Trash Bros had it in the bag, Allie. Do you think this just comes from consistency as playing as a team, or is it just, nah, these guys are so individually talented, they can just shoot their way out of any situation they're in?
When it comes to the individually talented thing, when I look at Ulysses, I think he is definitely very individually talented, but this roster in general to surround himself with, I think just fits him very well. I feel like sometimes we see some really talented players get kind of grouped up with players that just don't fit their play style. You know, either the pacing is off or the roles just don't end up working out. But seeing Yuli just kind of being allowed to do whatever he wants on the map, he gets in hill and he just starts locking it down. He shuts down 2 pieces, 3 pieces, and then he's surrounded by players like Gentroid, like Hollow, like Mach. That is scary, and they easily can see why they're the #1 team right now in NA. And on the side of Jabbawockeez, I don't see that Chem when I see this roster. When I see Fellow, Sib, Des, and Zinx, I don't, get that same feeling. I feel like they're all very well individually talented players. I mean, Fellow, again, he tried to put them on his back and carry it through, but I feel like Des, Fellow, and Sib are just all too aggressive of players that they have nobody to really set a pace for them.
Trash Bros locked in the hard point, but will they lock in the series? For that to happen, we got to look at the maps. We got to see what's up for them. Standoff S&D coming up next, followed by Garrison Control. Garrison if a game 4 is necessary, and then Moscow to round things out. So you look at that game 1 hard point, which very much was in favor of Trash Bros, but that didn't mean there weren't stretches where Jabbawockeez were making things work. A large part of that was due to Fellow, right? Like you said, and which I agree with, it feels like this Jabbawockeez team is for individuals rather than a cohesive unit, and that's okay. But with Fellow doing as much as he could to keep them in it, you obviously needed more from Decimate, Zinx, and Civ. And we look at it S&D on standoff, where you can absolutely have a bounce back. I'm glad that this is the map we have for game 2s these days, because it allows us to see how the subs and the ARs work in tandem, and that dichotomy that can work so well on the ebb and flow of standoff. But going into control, that is the big swing game mode for me in this series on Garrison. We know how big Catwalk and Green Control are for ARs. Ali, going into standoff S&D for our game 2, give me one player on either team you're looking out for as the X factor in this, and what is your prediction going into it?
I mean, I feel like I'd be called crazy if I said anybody on Trash Bros other than Yuli going into the S&D. I mean, after that game 1 and after all the talk around him, I mean, it would be crazy for me not to say that's the player that we obviously have to keep an eye on going into the S&D. And for Jabbawockeez, I mean, I want to say Sib. When I think of S&D, I want to say Sib or Des, but just because of the clinic Fellow just put on and what he's continued to put on the entire time we've seen him in our Elite Series, I feel like he's definitely the player to watch. But their win condition at this point is just for the rest of Jabbawockeez to step up. If that hard point was just maybe a one-off game, if maybe they all just weren't warmed up quite yet, and maybe it was just one of those games. But in the S&D, we have to see more out of Jabbawockeez, or else I'm expecting Trash Bros to just start wiping the floor with them.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Normally I would try to roast you, but no, absolutely not. I think you're actually onto something, and Decimate is kind of the key for me here in this S&D. He had a very, very rough game 1. I think if Decimate bounces back, this is a good chance the series is all tied up. But let me just give you some stats real quick, kind of reminding everybody what the playoffs in Stage 4 looked like, because both these teams played each other for a chance to get to the grand final. It was Trash Bros that were first seed in North America, and System who were the 3rd seed. But let me just remind you what Trash Bros brings to the table, okay? KD leader was Mach. He was a 1.22 overall going into the playoffs. He was a hardpoint KD leader at 1.22. You have Hollow, who was the 3rd best KD in S&D in North America at a 1.35, and the control KD of Mach, which was the #1 in North America, at 1.28. So not only do you have the best respawn player statistically in North America on your team in Mach, but you have the 3rd best S&D KD in Hollow. This team can do literally everything. Every single game mode, they have someone who stands out. So for Decimate, he has to be the big X factor for me. But in this S&D, I feel like just statistically wise, I'm looking at Hollow. If he's boasting like a 1.38, a 1.35, if he gets first bloods, this one might be very, very quick. And going into standoff alley, it's going to be a rough one for Jabbawockeez, but I think they can do it. I think they can get it done.
Well, going into standoff specifically, that's another reason why I'm just looking at Fellow. I'm looking at the vet. I'm looking at the old man on the team to just maybe just pull out some call plays, maybe pull out some old school strats and see something. Fellow, I'm so sorry for calling you an old man, but we're all thinking it. So maybe he can kind of whip some of the youngins into shape when it comes up onto the standoff.
Don't apologize. You did this 2 seasons ago. You're like, they're all old. They can't chew back. I was like, yeah, say it, Ali. Say it out loud. Yes, don't apologize. Let them know. But as we wait for the players to get in, and I believe Mach gives us the thumbs up, A-OK, we're all good to go. This is a big game 2. This is the first day of Stage 5 of North American Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series, and more importantly, this is the first matchup of the day. So this kind of sets the tone. We were in situations in seasons 1, 2, and 3 where we always said, day 1s, you can have a rough day 1. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Yes, you want to come out and do well, but if you fall behind early, there's time to make it up. There are 2 more weeks to play, and day 2 means more than day 1. We're in a situation where all these players, even if they're consistent as BBG, every single day in season 5 is the most important because you are trying to secure your spot and your seeding for playoffs coming up in just a couple of weeks. Every single game means so much. Let's get into game 2. Let's get into standoff S&D. It is a wonderful time to be alive. We got Express, we got Raid, we got standoff in rotation, we got Moscow Hardpoint. Oh, it's so good. The maps this year have been phenomenal, and I'm excited to watch Hollow and Jintroid go at it. But more importantly, I want to see what Fellow and Decimate have cooking up.
All right, well, bombs on side of Jabbawockeez. It's on the hands of Sib, who has been their continuous objective player. They're going to try and make their way towards the A site. A couple of information being caught, though. Yuli might get picked off by his Zinks, but he will be met by a couple of team shots and tacticals. Nobody falls just yet, though, as Sib gets first blood on the Jintroid.
That was a great read by Sib as well on the top of gas station, and Decimate will punish one more in Delhi. Here comes Ulysses. Rips him off the heady. Nice shots there. 2v2. Ulysses very dangerously working through the back alley. His fellow makes his way over to the tractor, but a bomb is clear. Only problem is no one currently has the bomb. And fellow will be able to pick it up. So what's the call now? Do we go to A? Well, it looks like that will be it. Ulysses and Mock now splitting up their resources and trying to find anything that moves. But here comes Ulysses. He's currently working all the way up to boxes. On the other side, though, Mock. Ulysses on the floor.
Ulysses had to get the kill on Zinks. It was free for just a moment, but the turn and burn works in their favor, and Jabbawockeez go up 1-0 on the S&D, although not completely convincingly. A little slip up on the side of Trash Bros ends up getting him that one.
An early round win, but anything to bounce back from the game 1 hard point, you take one round at a time, and that's going to be the difficult thing going in, right? Like, of course, stats mean something, sure, but you got Fellow and Decimate and Sib on one team. You have to at least go into S&Ds thinking they're going to be a force. So far, everyone getting a kill. On the other side, Hollow and Detroit still looking for their first of the game. And your bomb carrier will be Mock.
Once again, that bomb is kind of just stuck out in mid a little bit, making their decisions to go possibly towards the A site. But all of Jabbawockeez are in mid-map right now, and 6 and 8. That's Jintroid and Yuli are completely behind them. They could get a couple free kills here if they patiently hold their trigger fingers as Yuli finds first blood, and it looks like Jintroid's going to be in an engagement here soon.
Oh, that's a huge kill on the cross through mid. Watching it, Mock was able to find Fellow, so that helps some pressure over towards where the bomb is currently down. Sib will get shut. Was able to find one, though. 3v1, 3v nothing. Trash Bros quickly respond. And great reaction on the flank. You take down one, and then the cross from Mock, which helps shut down mid-map. Perfect shots on the Fellow. Ulysses survived that fight, and they currently had everything locked down.
Very quickly wanted to clean up that round after the previous. Now everybody across the board has it killed. Mock and Yuli sitting 2-1 and 2-2 respectively. A little bit more of what we expected. Jabbawockeez Sib is looking to turn up as he's got 2 kills on his belt now. We are only in the 3rd round, and Bomb once again slowly making its way through the map as everybody's kind of playing the first blood game as Sib almost gets taken out, but he is able to play his life as Bomb is deeply making its way towards the A site. They will get met by Hollow if they get their timing right.
Desi throwing a little bit of a dry peek. There's more than enough in the clip to allow those shots to ring, and Mock will find first blood again. Hollow will win that challenge. He has to be careful. Decimate's so weak, can't finish the kill. Now he needs to back up and play with Fellow on Main Street. Bomb still down. 4v3. First blood still here. Hollow once more working back in this position. We've seen him here just a round ago. Things have really slowed down after that first blood alley. Usually you see teams, bring the bomb towards the side, try to force the issue. We're now just seeing that bomb move.
Yeah, no, Decimate was definitely down horrendous there as he was trying to get a pick and wasted so many tacticals to try and get it. But even though he had the information, so does Trash Bros. So now all 4 of them are up, and Jabbawockeez are quite spread out. If Death plays this right, he could get a couple picks, but Yuli gets the free onto Zinks. Looks like another one's going to fall. Death's kind of making some noise here in farm, and Bomb is down 30 seconds on the clock. But look how spread out Jabbawockeez are. If they get picked, that's kind of all she wrote. Death's on his own in a 1v3. He's not able to pick up anybody from Trash Bros as they clean up the defuse.
This positioning from Ulysses was almost perfection. Everyone else just circling like sharks around the callouts, right? When someone's spotted, you get a teammate in position to be able to trade. We talk about it so many times. Positioning is a fundamental, and the teams that have it the best are usually the ones that make deep runs in brackets. They take 2 rounds in a row. It was very, very convincing in this one. Is the opening kill, and Mock just rips Sib. Once that happens, that line of sight is locked down. There is no one who can watch the cross through mid other than fellow at mid statue. So you can play with kind of those peak advantages. Yuli at 4-1 on a 3 spree. You know, he's about 5, maybe 4 kills away from streak. So not in the realm of possibility just yet. But your bomb carriers, Mock, maybe Ulysses will get even closer.
We talked about Hollow before we even got into this game as Yuli gets down 2, but Hollow's only at 1-1. He's kind of just getting to sit back with his feet up as Mock and Yuli are just kind of cleaning up the rest of Jabbawockeez. I mean, are making this look easy, though. Jabbawockeez trying to answer back as they find one. Hollow's now left in a 1v2. If anybody can do it, it is definitely him, but Bomb is down and out. And he does get unfortunate timing with fellow, so Jabbawockeez able to tie it up.
Yeah, the hard thing, especially on defense, is knowing, is that player currently in Delhi? Usually it's an AR who's going to be able to peek in front of Grandma's. Interesting final kill cam there, but Yuli opened it up with 2 kills. They don't get the round. Jabbawockeez doing a very good job of responding. Rather be down, or rather be tied 2-2, excuse me, than be down 3-1. They bounce back in that round. Fellow your bomb carry at 3-2. 6-2 for Yuli. 4-3 for Mock. Everyone else just a kill apiece. A couple of stuns fly out. Jintroid moving right up mid-map, but Fellow wins that battle and slides on out. First blood again, Jabbawockeez.
What a risky play out of Fellow, especially with Bomb to just slide out mid and get that first pick very quickly and kind of set up Jabbawockeez for an easy plant on the B site. And that's what's going to happen as Mock and Hollow, they're across the map and they're going to get caught out by Zinx if they get this cross down as he starts shooting Hollow in the toes and he finished up the kill. Jabbawockeez, I need to close this one out to now go up 3-2.
You know, the same compliment I gave Trash Bros for having a teammate in position to trade. You see it there where Zinx is able to pick up one around tank and Desi just gets the call, flies around the corner and cleans up the last kill. Well done. Good communication all around. Lead change for the second time here. As Jabbawockeez will get it. 3-2 up. Believe for the past 2 rounds has been a first blood for them. So your bomb carrier should be Jintroid. He gets it. 1-4 for him. We haven't seen a lot of B pushes other than, you know, for first bloods. The bot has not gone towards it yet. A nade flies out. Yuli survives.
Yuli was hoping for a free couple first bloods once again, but all the tacticals on the side of Jabbawockeez kind of fiend them back, and what they wanted was a free plant onto B, and now that's being slowed just a bit. As Fellow gets the first kill, he will get traded out, but now Bomb is down on the B site. Jabbawockeez, they have the information now, as you see all those little red arrows grouped up, making the rotation towards the bomb site.
And the problem is Bomb is not directly behind the bomb. It's currently out in a lane. So if you peek, you might get gunned by Sib. Hollow working on the top. Sib backs off. Never mind. Challenges again. Hollow just melts him. Decimate working to the back. Oh, Decimate got smoked. 4-3 for Hollow. Wonderful shots across the board. Bomb will go down. Zinx in a 1v3. Surely this is not possible. It won't be. Trash Bros tie it up.
My caster's curse once again. I talk about how Hollow gets to sit up with his feet back because he only has 1 kill on the board. He makes sure to shut me right up with this 2-piece on Civ. And I mean, you should never be able to kill Death in that situation. Beautiful shots out of him. Not to mention with the Krieg in close corners against the AK-74U. Trash Bros tie it back up in a very convincing fashion. Jintroid sitting at 1-5. Maybe see a little bit of a step up from him. We could see a bit more of a convincing game.
And you wonder, what would the game be like, Allie, if Jintroid maybe like 3-5 or 4-4 or something like that? If he's producing a little bit more, would this beat 3-3? Who knows? Decimate. We'll have one running in front. Nice Nick, hold that! Jintroid gets shot, first blood. Hollow quickly responds, and Decimate's so weak, he's going to get traded easily. Yuli working underneath. Everyone falling 3v1. That should be the round. Zinx, where you going, brother? Absolutely nowhere by.
I love how he's so weak and he's like, I know they're gonna come up the stairs. It's the only thing they can do. And even if it wasn't the person on the stairs that took him out, it would have been that nade as well. So a little PQ by Yuli. I feel like we're gonna watch that kill once more as the nade just kind of flew right past him. And at that point, I mean, you sign your life. Goodbye. Down and out, Zinx.
Like, what do? You just kind of wait for death at that point. Just looking
Yeah,
at the
you
stairs
just...
like,
All right, boys. So what's the next strat we're going into the next round?
Put the controller down. Just take it. Drink some water. Take a breather. Jintroid again at 1-6. What would this S&D be like if things were different? But I do give Trash Bros a lot of credit, right? When a player's struggling, just keep them on bomb. If it's working, it's working. No need to change. Now we see an A hit very quickly.
it.
It's going to be a rush plan.
Lay
Trophies
it.
are down.
Lay it. Put it down. Why are you hesitating? Put it down. Now you see all the red arrows on the map rotating towards the site. They could have gotten bombed down for so free, but they hesitated for way too long. And this should be a free round for Jabbawockeez as they collapse onto the site. That's 3 down for Trash Bros. I hate when teams do that, Sean. I hate when they do it. They have the full site control and they still hesitate to put that bomb down. And it usually, you know, it costs them because it allows Jabbawockeez to get that full rotation and not only get a free pick on the person then going to land bomb, but on the rest of your team that's stacked on top of you.
I mean, they're just going to fly at them. This is what you do. Just shut it down. And, you know, that was kind of hilarious round because they not only don't put bomb down when it's free sight. Obviously, they don't see what we see. But, I mean, you had numbers around. There was an absolute perfect chance to put that bomb down, even with someone at mid-statue knowing that no one's crossing through the haystack. They don't put bomb down. Yuli challenges the cubby and stuns himself and ends up dying. Everyone else falls. Like, that was just a hilarious round for Trash Bros. But Jabbawockeez get it back. That's a round you absolutely win. Jintroid at 1-7. That's the last time I promise I'll point it out. 7-5 for Fellow. He's going to be your bomb carrier, currently on a 2 spree. Only one really within the realm of vicinity, within the ballpark of somewhat being near streaks. 4-6 for Decimate. More stuns out. Bomb will not advance. First blood will be to Jintroid, and he stays alive.
Love that aggression out of Jintroid. They just know he weak can get the repeat, but I guess we just missed the 3-piece of Fellow. What a quick round as we thought Jintroid maybe had opened up the map for his team. Jabbawockeez answer right back as Fellow. He was out on his own in mid, just getting free picks. We're going to watch it here in the kill cam. I mean, he had bomb as well. He just had to sit at statue for free and pick off the rest of Trash Bros.
You lined him up. I mean, it was basically 2 kills, but you get a collateral there. And 10-5 for Fellow. Now he's getting... Nope, not even close to streaks. Okay, well, 5 streaks. Well, you know what? Hey, why not? It's a morale boost, okay?
Yeah,
I don't know how streaks work. I should know. 5-4. 1 more round's all you need. Fellow gonna play through Deli. Nades fly out towards statue. No one getting tagged. And again, it looks like it's gonna be hit over to A. Will they put bomb down quicker this time? Absolutely not. First blood.
I am fiending right now that this bomb is still sitting in this corner. Yuli is able to pick up 1 in the trade and thankfully will go their way. Fellow last alive. He gets taken down. Trash Bros do tie it up 5-5 as we go into round 11, but you should see my face right now. The second the bomb got there, I feel like once you're stacking the bomb and nobody's been tagged up, nobody's taken damage, you put your trophies down, like just lay the bomb. Like at that point, it should be free. You should have the understand, you have the numbers. Nobody's contested you thus far. Like just get it down. But regardless, they were able to get the trades going in their favor. Trash Bros tie it up as we head into a round 11. Jabbawockeez are going to be on the offensive with the bomb on the side of Fellow again, who is 11-6.
Basically been the Fellow versus Yuli show. Who's gonna get first blood? Eat that nade. Try to flush him out. Sib. Oh, might bamboozle him. Yuli survives and escapes. Another nade out. Yuli's continuing to challenge for some odd reason. Sib in a battle of his life and wins it. Jintroid gone. Yuli gets the trade. 3v3.
Jabbawockeez in a favorable situation as they went to the A site and immediately laid that bomb down. So now all of Trash Bros need to try and make their way through mid-map. They do shut down Fellow, who was the biggest threat. Now Des and Zinx are left to defend the site. 18 seconds, so they can easily do it if they just get a couple shots to go through. But Trash Bros collapse onto the site. 13 seconds, they have to shut down Sib. One of them has to start defusing. Des, all he has to do is shoot the guy on bomb. He shoots Hello in the back. Yuli's not going to get the defuse, so Jabbawockeez take the S&D. A Hollow. What an unfortunate timing for you to turn your back exactly where Des had been hiding.
Oh my god, Hollow. It was a 50-50 guess. And he guessed wrong. And the hesitation
wasn't even a guess.
from Decimate. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but in that kill cam, it just looked like he just turned around. It looked like he just kind of just turned around. Like, you hold that angle, you get it. You win the round.
No, yeah, because Decimate had taken damage right there. He was just trying to contest the point, and he had slid back to regen to try and make that repeat once again. So for Hollow to turn around and check the other side in that timing was just, like, genuinely unfortunate. Because, I don't know, I guess he was thinking that maybe Decimate took the long route around. But
sure,
if Decimate had done that, he wouldn't have time to shoot the player defusing the bomb. So for me, that was just an absolute hiccup on the side of Hollow.
And it would be one thing if Hollow was a little bit further back towards the site and then you have to go on a chase, but I mean, Hollow was right around the corner. In that situation, surely if you know that Desi's weak, you just run after him, right? Like maybe that's just my lizard brain, caster brain coming into play, but I would think that you know he probably can't wrap without you understanding it's taking too long. So Ali, shouldn't you just push that and go for the challenge if you know he's somewhat weak? Because it's a 50-50 guess whether he stays and wraps all the way around or he comes right back into your line of sight. I would have just challenged.
Well, when Hollow was that close, absolutely. If he just kind of made that slid and picked that corner, by the time you peeked that corner and didn't see that somebody's there, he could have easily just turned around and gotten that full wrap timing, because, I mean, that's just how COD timing works. But again, in the heat of the moment, when the round's going through, I understand that you can't always think of the 20 million scenarios that could happen, so that's definitely unfortunate for the side of Trash Bros. But Jabbawockeez, they did what I was begging Trash Bros to do. Go to the A site. The second you aren't contested, lay it down. And that gave Jabbawockeez not only the time, but it made Trash Bros frazzled. They were all the way across the map. They had to make that rotation over into Statue to try and get that defuse. And by the time they got through the cavalry of Jabbawockeez and picked apart, the time just wasn't there for them.
Yeah, and it seems like, you know, every single game in S&D so far today has been so close regardless of the regions. We've gone around 10s and 11s, and you know, again, like you said, we could talk about the multiple different ways you play that round. Hindsight is 2020, but a huge bounce back for Jabbawockeez going into that S&D. And again, like you talked about going into that game, Fellow was huge. He was a standout, and Decimate gets the 1v2 in the end to clutch it. Now we're all tied up 1-1, and we look at Garrison Control, where your ARs are the absolute X factor of their presence in Catwalk towards Radar and top green. How well do they play will decide how well you do on this map. We got Garrison coming up for a hard point, which we'll absolutely be going to, and then if necessary, a Moscow S&D to close out this first match of North America tonight. But Ali, we got Garrison back to back, and you know what that means. I'm asking you the same old question: who you taking going in? And because of the map and modes coming up, do you think any team has a specific advantage?
Well, when I'm looking at Garrison, personally, I think it lies a lot on the sub's shoulders, especially when it comes to control. It's a lot more close quarters when you get into that mid-map and into green. I feel like at that point, the subs are going to be duking it out. And then again, that's when I'm going to be looking at Yuli once again, who's been having an absolute map. And I'm going to be looking at Sib and Des, who are kind of the sub-duo for Jabbawockeez that you would expect on paper, at least, to be disgusting. And I feel like I've yet to see those two really bounce off of each other. So maybe if we see some of that into this Garrison Control, I can see them taking it. But Trash Bros, I feel like they've just been looking too good. In that S&D, Fellow could kind of, you know, in S&D, you can put him on a backpack. You can kind of carry your way through it at that point. But when it comes to respawn, Fellow can only do so much. So hopefully the life we saw out of Des and Sib will come again into this control.
Yeah, and offense is naturally just more difficult in control, so you're going to need everyone a full four-man roster to get you through this one. Hollow currently working towards the top of Catwalk, can't finish the kill. Neither this one. Sib jumps him into oblivion, but don't worry, Yuli's on the floor, and he's able to find one. Almost makes it two. A couple of trays back and forth for both teams, but only a one-kill advantage for Jabbawockeez, and on to the point already. You got Jintroid with no kills yet, but don't worry, he's playing his life and trying to find more. Zinx shuts him down. So far, so good for Jabbawockeez.
Already so back and forth. Jabbawockeez are up 3 lives already, though, as Des is kind of just running around mid for free. As soon as I say that, Hollow does manage to take him down, and it almost feels like Hollow just kind of gets the players weak for Yuli to kind of run around and get a couple of pieces throughout. But 23-25, no real control just yet. Jintroid is on the B side to maybe get a couple ticks in, and it almost looks like Jabbawockeez have chalked B already, as they are heavily towards the A site, maybe trying to get some cross kills onto the B site, but once again, there isn't too much commitment on their side.
Well, so far today, especially in EU, is very much 4-stack a site, and we'll split resources later if necessary. But if you were watching game 1 and now you're watching now, first of all, thank you. Second of all, Sib is having a much better start. He's at 6-3, and he's been lighting it up. Yuli cannot find the kill in bricks, but Fellow will escape. Hollow in lights, and he will be able to lock it down. So put another minute on the clock, and we're going to go over to A. This one is much more difficult, but you'd be surprised how many times offenses can wipe for 2 and get on and lock down the round. Jintroid will be that entry man waiting for the rest of his team, so patiently, once they get in position, they will pounce, but it comes through player number 1, Hollow. If he's able to get out of lights and get to bricks, this can open up the entire site as Yuli works through vents.
Jintroid, unfortunately, still hasn't found his first kill. As soon as I said that, he gets one on the board, but he's had a bit of a slow start this series, so makes me wonder what Trash Bros we would be seeing currently if maybe firing on a couple more cylinders than he currently is. And they're starting to make, hopefully, that flood into the A site. But again, as you said, it is so difficult as Mach gets taken down. And 3 players of Jabbawockeez are stacked onto the hill. It is all up to Jintroid right now. He is in a perfect position to catch them with their pants down as they all push through mid to try and get the respawn kills. Now, he can just get on this site for free if he wants to. He chooses not to. He chooses to kind of get Bricks control and make sure there's nobody in the vicinity. But if he does too much of this, he could get shot in the back.
Jintroid should know where spawns are coming from, and he absolutely does. You can see him constantly checking those back corners, making sure no one's challenging. And once again, players are in a position to clear out mid-map. Then he feels comfortable to jump inside the point. Trophies are down. He'll block that nade and still staying alive and dipping and diving, throwing out one just for the check to keep them from flooding in. Zinx wins the gunfight, but don't worry. Numbers are here, and guess what? Jintroid played his life so well. That's a full wipe. Decimate the last alive, and he is quickly shut down. Jintroid is the hero of this play, the hero of the round, and a full team wipe to give Trash Bros the first round.
And that's why kills do not mean everything, as Jintroid played his life so well in Bricks, getting that trophy down and being able to stay alive after a member of Jabbawockeez came up Bricks' side. Even though he did end up being taken down, it was just enough time for Mach and Yuli to slide in and get that control and clean up the rest of the kills.
All it takes is one play through Bricks, right? We were waiting for Hollow to move out of lights. You had Yuli working in the bottom of vents. If they get to Bricks and they're able to lock those spawns and they know exactly where Jabbawockeez are coming from, you can win this round. All you had to do was take Fellow out of the power position at back radar, take that AR out of his hands, force him to fight a fight up close. That's an interesting tautology, but whatever. And now you're in a position where you take the first round, Jintroid going 1-5, but one of the most clutch 1-5 performances in a control you'll ever see. And now he just has to do a little bit better going into the offensive round.
Sib trying to do all he can as he is 12-7, trying to pull a Fellow from the earlier maps in our series. As Fellow is now falling behind a little bit, he's even across board 5-5, but your kill feed is lighting up red as they are looking for an early push into the A side as they get control of green. Fellow one-man army taking these ticks onto the B side. Trash Bros need to make a commitment here, and it looks like they're making that commitment towards the A side, so they can hopefully get green control here, but you have to answer to Des and Sib.
Shut down. Decimate. Trading. Get trades again. As Yuli will clean him up. Yuli will clean up 2. Hollow on your screen. 5-8. One right behind him. Does he recognize the mantle gave away? Yeah, that mantle had to at least give him the audio cue, and Mach is a guardian angel, so they're getting very aggressive on the defensive end. Life lead there for Jabbawockeez, only 1, but still it's worth noting. 11-7 for Mach, make it 12 on 2-3, make it 3. No, Yuli gets the primary kill, but Mach the assist. And right now they're playing defense pretty well, Ali. They're not really letting Jabbawockeez get anywhere near the point.
Nowhere near, but number 5 is going to be Zinx as he's hoping to slip and slide right past Trash Bros, who have pushed up all the way to the spawn site to try and make sure Jabbawockeez cannot get anywhere close to A or B, as B does have a single tick. 20 seconds on the clock. It is all up to Zinx, who is still in mid, who is now sliding past thanks to the 2-piece out of Jess. It could be the opening that they needed. That is 3 down on Trash Bros. That is the one scary thing about pushing up spawns that far, is if you get full wiped, it's basically a free cap for the side of Jabbawockeez. Now contested quite a bit. 10 seconds on the clock. Jabbawockeez have to get in. Sib tried to play his life. It's all on Dessa's shoulders. Now he finds Julie. He's going to have to find Mach too. 6.5 seconds on the clock. He gets the trade, but he gets off the point. 4 seconds. You need to get back on Des, and you need to sit tight for the rest of your team to come and help you out.
Trash Bros thinking about the A push, but I would just commit resources here. There's Jintroid in the back. Jintroid can't get Fellow. Fellow should be able to get B. No one else around. If Jintroid wins that, it's a 2-0 lead for Trash Bros. Nonetheless, we look at the life total, 12-8. Jabbawockeez now have to work on A, and they got a minute to do so. This is entirely doable, but here comes Mach. Never mind, he gets shut down. Jintroid at 5-11 needs to start picking up a little bit more. Fellow puts out shots, and Zinx cleans it up. Ulysses working through Bricks. Ulysses winning one gunfight. Zinx at the top of the stairs, throwing shots down as well. You can contest up there now thanks to the new update, and Decimate gets smoked. Jintroid with the kill. 4v10. This should be another round, and it will be. Jabbawockeez do everything right, and they get the round, and they tie it up.
What a stressful A-point Mach right there. That should have been free kills for him as they started to line up, but he very quickly got shut down, and unfortunately the subs just weren't able to make those shots, and so Jabbawockeez for free were just able to push in, not to mention Des forcing that turnaround out of Trash Bros as he pushed through the back, as not only did they have to try and defend the front, they had Des shooting them from behind. Now Jabbawockeez tie that up. Des coming alive at 12 and 10. Sib 17 and 14. Fellow 11 and 10, doing what he's been doing the entire series. Thanks even across the board. And on the side of Trash Bros, unfortunately, Hollow and Jintroid have slowed down astronomically, and that is not what they needed if they wanted to go up in this team. You do not want to give Jabbawockeez any sort of foothold, because they will start to run with it as we head right into round 3 of our control.
You got Sib, who's having a great game. And for Jintroid, you know, sometimes kind of slow the game down a little bit. When he did, he was so impactful. Now has to win a couple of big gunfights in front, but he'll get shut down on lights, and Fellow will get back in to remove the progress on B. Mach finds 2. When we talk about the ARs being in that power position at top green, it does so much for the offense. When they're working at B, when they're trying to get pressure in onto A and split those resources, Fellow has to be careful about re-challenging in the engagement. He'll take down Hollow with a fantastic nade falling away from the site. Last alive there is Jintroid over at A, and he's winning 2 big gunfights in the race. So Jintroid has rotated from B. They're going for A, which is the harder point to cap. And if they at least get the second tick, again, overtimes work different. Here comes some streaks. Fellow will take down 1, and he clears him off the point.
Looks like he almost grabbed Mach as well, and Sib will clean him up with a nade, and that is now all 4 players of Trash Bros down, 19 to 21. They do have a tick on the A site, but that only does so much when you're all coming off the spawn and have to run into the free fire of Jabbawockeez. 35 seconds on the clock. They need to take down Sib. Yuli finds the kill, but again, they need to get onto this B site. They're going to be answered by 3 players of Jabbawockeez in mid. Jintroid unable to find a single one. 20 seconds on the clock. All 3 players here need to make that push, but Hollow, he knows there's going to be one behind number 7. That's going to be Sib looking to make some noise.
18 and 33 combined for Hollow and Jintroid. We don't like to hop on stats too much, but hey, we have to talk about it. Now, they need to start picking things up, because you can tell that their lack of production is really hurting this game. Sib will get smoked. Hollow currently in top green. They're going to put more pressure in onto A. 12.7 seconds to go. What's the call? Well, B is there. A big gunfight by Ulysses will shut things down. Decimate calls in the artillery, which finds 2, but you have to worry about numbers coming back up for Trash Bros. Hollow has to defend this position. This is the biggest gunfight for him currently. He falls away towards the catwalk, unsure of how he wants to challenge. They have to start making moves, but Jabbawockeez are smoking them off the map and very quickly shutting numbers down.
4 seconds. Hollow has to do something here. He's the only one with any hope of getting onto a point. He's unable to do it. So Jabbawockeez now go up 2-1 in control. Not what I expected at all. But all players on Jabbawockeez happen to be firing on all cylinders now, and that is a scary sight. But streaks have been invested now on the side of Jabbawockeez. So Trash Bros, if they're looking to make a comeback, it has to be in this round.
You know, we talk a lot about teams kind of slowing it down, and especially in control, waiting for the rest of your team to get up so you can make an orchestrated and intelligent hit. That works, but the problem is that with Hollow and Jintroid struggling, you're constantly playing 2 men down. You're constantly playing at a disadvantage when it goes for sight hits, so they're constantly having to wait to make sure everyone's up. And you saw it there with Hollow just unsure if he can push up or not, or whether he has enough time. You're wasting too much time, and you can't afford to do that, but that's the only thing they can do because they don't have enough men at all times to make a hit. This is a very interesting predicament to be in. Can they turn it around in this round? They have to if they want to go to an OT. Sib has just been absolutely frying. 23-19. I mean, another 3 dead. Every time we look at the kill feed, it's all red, and it always seems like it's 2 or 3 down. Multi-kill after multi-kill. Jabbawockeez are so easily walking their way through this map. Hollow comes out and beams a couple. That is a huge 2-piece to get onto the site.
Huge 2-piece for him specifically as well. He's been having a bit of a slow start, but Des answers with 2 of his own, and he's shooting bodies. I'm sure he's going to hear about that later from the side of Trash Bros. And Des, he's 23 and 13. He is on a 5-3, probably looking to go for some streaks here. Maybe in that he might not need to, as they are starting to get this pick onto the B side. He will get shut down by Jintroid in green. And on side Jabbawockeez again, they are just playing so aggressive. I said this before, with the side of Fellow, Sib, and Des, this is a very aggressive team. When they are all starting to perform, that can be very scary because they will quickly be in your face and not allow you to get any footing, which is exactly what is happening to Trash Bros.
You got Yuli at 20 and 21. That's the only standout currently. You just need more team shots, right? Like we talk about the triple kills and the multi-kills that Jabbawockeez put on the board. You haven't had a lot of team wipes for Trash Bros. Fellow, again, just destroys Ulysses. Fellow's shot today, while it isn't impressive numbers all even, he's been absolutely frying. I mean, he has had it pinpoint precision. Mock will shut him down. Green control here. Trash Bros need desperately to hold on. 17-19, a life differential that is so easily, that's not a word, so easily to work with. 2v1 in your round count. Fellow, I think he just pinged for info, and he will. So you're going to wait and hold on to those streaks, Sally, but you got a minute to go. You have to move over to A. And with another 2 kills, things get easier.
I mean, they are all pushing into bricks. This is terrifying as all of Trash Bros fall. Jabbawockeez, this is all they needed. Fellow could call his streaks here right now if he wanted to secure them this win, but he's going to play it a little bit safer for now. He'll start to stack the points. Sid getting 3 kills in bricks. Nobody went to the outer, and now Hollow and Mock are struggling to push their way through and find him. They finally do, but the second ticket's going to go down on A. No trophies on the side of Trash Bros, so they're just going to eat a couple of tacticals and take some bullets while they're at it as they slide in, and trades are continuously going in the side of Jabbawockeez.
Oh, this is a very aggressive and brutal control. This one's probably done. 13v7. Here come the streaks. Sib letting them know at 30 and 23. That one's done. End the control. We're going to a hard point. And wow, Jabbawockeez just played that mean and aggressively, and they were just frying. They were flying at every gunfight and winning 2-3 pieces. I don't know what happened in those comms, but it looked like everyone was mad all the time. That was a hell of a game 3.
I mean, we say mad. I mean, the body shots, I think, said enough for that. And I mean, it's like a flip just switched. And I feel like I see that a lot with some of these top teams. When they have a slow start, something just kind of flips in them. Something just kind of changes. And suddenly all of them are firing on all cylinders and just shutting down the other team. And Trash Bros, the fact that Jintroid and Hollow are having such a slow start is not looking good for them, because that means they put a lot on Yuli's shoulders. If Yuli's not going triple positive, it looks like the rest of this team is falling behind as well. And that's a scary sight, the thing. You don't want to base all of your team's success on one player.
And here are the replays of that map 3, and you know, it was an impressive effort from Jintroid in that first round, and we're thinking, okay, they're going to outthink their way through some of these situations. But it got to a point where the amount of multi-kills and triple kills that consistently were put up in the kill feed, like, yeah, single-handedly, those kind of kills show up on the stat sheet, obviously, for numbers, but what doesn't show up is team wipes. What doesn't show up is the amount and the consistency of those triple kills, right? Like, just constant team wipes, constantly being at an advantage on site. Trash Bros needed the full 4-man roster to show up. We talked about Jabbawockeez needing that as well. With Hollow not playing his best, with Jintroid not playing his best, Fellow and Sib just put on a clinic. And we're getting into a situation where if Sib's not playing like that and Fellow's shooting the way he is and Zinx is feeling comfortable, like, this is gonna be a this is gonna be a whole hard point. It's gonna be a whole hard point. And Allie, I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of scared what might happen.
I agree. I'm a little scared as well, but only because I told you, on paper, the duo of Decimate and Sib are disgusting. When I first heard about these two being a sub duo together, I thought that is a terrifying thing to behold, and it is when they both are on their game. You know, in their first hard point, we didn't really see them both on their game. They're both falling behind a little bit. It was Fellow really kind of pulling them through the mud, and seeing that control, both of them just kind of doing whatever they want on the map, uncontested by Trash Bros, who is our number 1 seed, our first team. And seeing them just be able to put on a clinic like that, that's very scary for a team like Trash Bros. And now I'm sure both sides mentally are just angry. So going into this next hard point on Garrison, I can only imagine the amount of aggression we're going to see out of both sides.
We get into a situation where a series can hinder on one game. We talk about controls being that swing game, right? It used to be uplinks. For a while, it was S&Ds. You win the S&D, you're right back in the series. Control has very much been a swing game for many teams. This is your reigning defending champions of North America, Trash Bros. They came in here and they beat the formerly known The System, this current Jabbawockeez roster, in the North American playoffs for Stage 4. Jabbawockeez could go into this hardpoint on Garrison on the same map if Sib and Fellow are playing like that, and they could win this series 3-1 and really show the Trash Bros roster who's really the king of North America, at least for this first day. And normally we go into situations like this where it's like, okay, it's a bounce back in game 3. It was a 3-1 win. Nice. But I mean, there was some level of just like patiently panicked in that game for Jabbawockeez. And again, they were playing mean, they were playing aggressive, and they were consistently in the face of Trash Bros. And that's what scares me. Like, it looked like Sib and Fellow and Decimate were playing with a lot of anger, and they were just constantly trying to prove a point. And that's what scares me going into this. But Allie, you know, we talked a lot about Decimate and stuff. Is there another player, or is it a single key takeaway going for you, key to victory going into this map and mode? What do you need to see out of Jabbawockeez for them to take the series?
They just need to keep being aggressive. They need to take that 3-1 control on Garrison and do the same thing in this hard win. They need to get in the face of Trash Bros and not give them a single second to get a footholding, as we immediately got some scrappy gunfights going in the mid here. No time going on either side just yet, as it initially lights up red.
Well, we got a hard point. Got a lot of game to be played, but it comes down to production. We need all 4 for Trash Bros to get this one done and head to a game 5. So far, trades back and forth. You'll be able to find 2. Players flying out of the hill and now re-entering ever so timidly, as Fellow on your screen will work underneath. Already thinking about the rotation through caution and on the bottom floor for P2, but he will get shut down. Decimate under vents. Might be able to find Mock or anything. He'll pop out for possibly 1. He will eventually fall, but Jintroid now at radar. So far set up, Trash Bros looking good.
A little bit of a questionable push out of Fellow there in the mid, because, you know, there's a saying in COD, you know, don't backtrack, and he went under the tank in mid, and then he turned right back around and went the same way above and ended up getting shot in the back. So definitely a little questionable there, as he was almost in a prime position to kind of push his way all the way through the back and get those spawns, but not that they needed to, because Jabbawockeez quickly picked apart the rotation of Trash Bros, and now they don't even have spawns. They are holding it from the front, and they are creating a spawn trap with Fellow and Zinx in the back, and as they take down a couple and force Trash Bros to kind of make that turn and get them out of their spawn, this is free time going to Jabbawockeez. They are breaking the 50-point mark already, as Sib is just shutting down everybody in bricks. He will initially get shut down though with the nades finally, but Des will easily pick up a kill.
You know, in that game 1 hardpoint on Moscow, Trash Bros were playing at a pace that was a little bit ahead of Jabbawockeez. They were getting through gunfights quicker, they were on rotations quicker, and they were clearing out hills quicker. Right now, Jabbawockeez are on that same pace. They have stepped up the cadence of this game. They're moving through their hills efficiently, effectively, and they're just not wasting a lot of time in engagements. They're getting in with team trades, they're getting out. A couple of kills in the back lines. It's up to Jintroid now to try to find the initials on the entry as he rotates behind. He should win that. He will against Zinx. 6 and 6 for Jintroid on a good start so far, as Ulysses works on the floor. Can't finish that kill, and Sib just absolutely destroys him on the challenge. And finally, Trash Bros are inside the point. You can get back in this game with this full 30, but you need a full team hit. And so far, so good. Everyone's contributing.
Unfortunate spawn for Jabbawockeez, and Zinx and Fellow were in the deep back, but they were unable to deal with all 4 players of Trash Bros and ended up losing those spawns. But not that that really matters, because Jabbawockeez time and time again have just broken and gotten in the face of Trash Bros and picked apart their setups, as we're watching it once again. Only 20 seconds to go their side, but that's 20 more than Trash Bros have, as they are now up, going to be 80-35 going on rotation now, as all of Trash Bros are set up. But they're gonna have to worry about Sib coming here in mid, as he takes down 1. He's almost finds Jintroid as he gets some help from his teammates. Says 3 down from Trash Bros, once again getting just picked apart by the aggression from Jabbawockeez.
I mean, the subs are just flying right now. They're roaming. They don't have to sit in the hill. They let the ARs do that, as Ulysses flies through and finds 1. Now things get real quiet, and this is where it gets dangerous, right? When everyone slows down and the patience stops, then it just kicks up and you start to see kills fall. That's 3 in a row. Can they make it 4? Decimate will clean up 1 to even things out. And a second, Hollow had no business losing that gunfight, but he does anyway. 83-37. Not a lot of time being grabbed on this hill, and no matter what, Jabbawockeez are more than happy to sit on the outside and just refuse to let anyone else in. We've had a full 60 here, and it's only been about the last 20 seconds that have gone anyone's way. But this just favors Jabbawockeez, because again, we go to the adjacent side of the floor for P5. Even though Trash Bros are here first, you have to question how good will they be at holding the hill, because so far it's been broken pretty easily.
Absolutely. At this point, every time Trash Bros makes that early rotation, sure, I'm happy for them, but Jabbawockeez time and time again have just picked it apart so very quickly, and now that they've broken that 100-point mark, they can even take their time if they wanted to, although I don't think that's smart, as the aggression is working in their favor, as they continuously just keep getting in their faces. Fellow is about to have a free spree here, but unfortunately he does make the peek to the wrong side, as he's now going to see a couple of players get get the free kill onto the Hollow. He might find Gintroid as well. Again, Trash Bros have to go on a hunt in their spawn. All the free time is going in favor of Jabbawockeez. Number 4, Gintroid. He does spawn out across the map to finally free them of this horrific hell they've had to go through in their spawn trap. But I mean, at this point, nothing will be enough as 17 seconds are only left on the clock. They're gonna have to worry about rotation once again, which should cause a little bit of PTSD for them as they have yet to hold a single one.
Fellow almost made me scream if he was able to find that kill in the back and turn for 4. I mean, they're putting him in a spawn trap. And here's the interesting thing, Alex. I mean, the kind of the takeaway right now, halfway through this game, even on that P5 hill, again, not a lot of time was grabbed. They're not getting into the hill and putting this game away. It feels like they're trying to make a statement. They're trying to say, we're just going to outslay you, and we will worry about the hill later. We'll get to the actual objective when we want to. For now, though, we're going to put you in a spawn trap, we're going to put you in a chokehold, and we're going to slam you into the wall and make sure we prove our point. Finally, Trash Bros make their way back inside the hard point, and they're currently set up in P1 with decent positioning. But Zinx just walks his way through top 3 without checking corners. Ulysses will find one onto Fellow. Trades back and forth. Hill time there for Jabbawockeez. And Decimate will pick up a kill. So again, no one hopping inside. Decimate gonna sit in the bottom of vents. Here comes the rotation from Zinx. Will he hop in? He will. Shaky shots from Hollow. At least he's able to find one. Trades back and forth. Both teams getting 2. But it's not a lot of solid hill time for either team, regardless of the lead that Jabbawockeez has.
Trash Bros have put themselves 40+ points the last time we saw them, when Jabbawockeez broke that 100 points. So it's very easily, with a good full 60, they could get right back into this game, but it seems they've just lost a little too much full here to be able to do that. Mock and Gintroid are the ones kind of falling behind this time. They just can't seem to get their footholding. They don't even have any objective time. All of that is laying on the shoulders of Yuli, who is 12 and 16 at 51 seconds. Your kill feed is lighting up red once again, as all of Trash Bros are now coming off a respawn, as Sib and Des and Fellow just have their way with the entire Trash Bros roster.
Sib is shooting and taking AR battles with a sub in top green and winning it. Again, it's not often you see a game that's, you see a hard point or respawns that are physically tangible, like the palpable anger that seems to be coming across in this gameplay. Trying to make it 25 and 13. I mean, it's just been all hill time for Jabbawockeez. We haven't talked a lot about the rotation. No one's touched it for Trash Bros. They haven't put a single foot inside the point. We're looking at the rotation through caution to get into P3. One break and this game is done. If Jabbawockeez get in here and get 30-40 points, we're looking at the end of this series, as Decimate currently on our screen has his job cut out for him.
I'm actually mind blown that Trash Bros made such an early rotation and just held these angles. And even after all that, one of them still got picked off, and they're still getting picked off as Jabbawockeez just smashed through the front door of this hard point. They finally will break the 100 point, but again, we don't know how long that will hold. An interesting statistic I want to point out is that Zinx is 15 and 12 with 1 minute and 47 seconds in objective time. He was, I believe, at like 10 and 9 not a couple seconds ago, as he had quadrupled almost his kills at 15 and 13, but he hasn't really had to do much, as the rest of his teammates have just been completely outslaying on the side of Trash Bros. So he's been able to just kind of rack up that hill time for them and, you know, be like, all right, kids, go have fun. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, much like Jabbawockeez had all of P3 locked down, or should say, excuse me, P2, Trash Bros did the same thing on P3. They didn't let Jabbawockeez get anywhere near the hard point, so we'll give them their credit there. Can they do the same thing here on P4 at the bottom? If they can, this is a brand new hard point. Mock able to find one. Dodges out of a nade's way. But it always seems like things are slowing down because it's one hit at a time into the hill. Can't win that gunfight against Zinx. That's a huge one. Hollow will eventually find it. Ulysses finds one as well. They'll get inside. How long will it last? That is the question.
Jabbawockeez are starting to slow down, and that's what I said they absolutely cannot do. Trash Bros, they're looking to start getting a little bit of footing now, and that is the last thing Jabbawockeez are going to want here, as they're going to start getting picked off these early holds that Trash Bros keep trying to get for themselves. Fellow, he's going to fall in mid. No kills going on the side of Trash Bros, as Fellow accidentally takes down Zinx with a tactical. Time not going to the side of Trash Bros. They are measly 40 seconds from catching up to Jabbawockeez, and that is nothing, as they can get that early rotation here and change the pace of this game.
We went from a situation where one break on P3 and this game is done, and now we have a brand new hard point. Trash Bros are resilient, they're composed, they're poised in the pocket, and now they're getting the breaks in the hill that they were so desperately looking for in this game. The kills are starting to fall as well. I mean, it was a situation where everyone was almost double negative. Now 25 and 23 for Hollow. He's currently in the hill. 4 spree for Yuli at 21 and 20. A minute 25 in the objective. Gintroid shooting back at 12 and 24, having a very rough series, but still trying to contribute here and there. Trades for both teams. Ladies and gentlemen, we almost have a tie game. Finally, Jabbawockeez getting the point.
I mean, I'm just sitting here with my mouth open. Hollow gets that cleanup kill, and he finds the second one, but playing the time money, he will get shut down. No time going on either side. Now, this is now a 20-point game, which was almost a 100-point game not that long ago. Trash Bros have crawled their way right back into this, but Des and Zinx are trying to have something to say about it as they clear out the hill for only 7 seconds. They can cause that spawn trap here right now as all Trash Bros are off into the back on the other side of the map. Jabbawockeez, they can easily win it here, but they have to have a perfect hold. Trash Bros, we haven't seen them have a clean break just yet, but after the momentum push that they've been giving themselves, it is easily possible to do so.
Oh, when Sib's winning 2 pieces like that.
Nope.
Welcome back to the conversation. Everyone dead. You win it here. You got 30 points you need. Make it less than 20. Spaceman can't do math. The Gintroid throwing some shots out. And Sib will shut him down. Sib on 8. Oh my god, is it possible? Yeah. Here come the streaks. Sib with the Diamante in hand, just gonna let it sing. Hollow cleans them up, but only 6 points needed. This is an absolute stomping in the end of this hard point. Trash Bros work their way in, though. The comeback is possible. If they hold on to this and they get rotation to radar, my god, they might do it, but they have to survive the streaks.
They haven't gone on rotation just yet. The only one that's going to be close enough is Mock, and he has a lot of gunfights to win as he gets taken down very quickly as your kill feed lights up red. This is looking signed off for Jabbawockeez. Hollow, though, is in the back. He could get a couple of picks here, but 5 seconds on the clock. They all have to flood it. Zinc should just get a couple freebies here as he does. Yuli gets shut down, and Jabbawockeez clean out the series 3-1 in the hardpoint, 250 to 193.
Not gonna lie, it looked scary. It looked kind of rough near the end of that hard point. All of a sudden, the resurgence, the resilience, Trash Bros were making the comeback. They were finding ways to chain kills together and get inside the hard point. But they just couldn't hold on long enough, and Sib was an absolute demon in that hard point, Fox. He was smoking everyone, and at the end of the day, again, it just felt like they were thinking about the hard point last, and they were more focused on getting all the kills. It came back to bite them a little bit, but when you constantly put team wipes on the board and you're constantly playing, 3v1s in a hard point, 4v1s, it's so difficult to fight against that, man. What did you see in that series?
I mean, you said it best right there. Like, having that option in your tool belt to just go nuclear with someone like Sib, right? Just coming out mowing down the competition. We talk about Ulysses. Sib's a weapon in himself.
Absolutely is. I mean, we remember back in Modern Warfare what he was doing on St. Petra, right? When he was running with gravity, you just kind of let him loose. Like, you take the chains off, you let him run around, and he'll find something to do. But Ali, in that hard point, there were moments, and especially in the end, right? Trash Bros are bringing it back. They're chaining kills together. They're racking up kills. They're locking down time. The old staple in hard point. But when they needed to most, when Jabbawockeez needed to just play actual hardpoint, play actual cohesive Call of Duty, they just basically fell back, let Sib do what he wanted, and then they got in the point. Did you ever think in this that Trash Bros were going to take the hardpoint, or was it just a matter of Jabbawockeez doing what they wanted on the map?
Once that pace change started in favor of Trash Bros, I definitely thought they could very easily start shutting it on Jabbawockeez, just because I thought back to that first hard point. And once Trash Bros kind of got that, initial pace in that first hard point, they, continued to just run with it. And Jabbawockeez, they came out very, very fast and hard in that hard point. I mean, they were angry and they were aggressive, and Trash Bros just couldn't get on their feet. And the fact that Sib and Des were able to step up in such a way, I believe Sib almost dropped 40, if not did drop 40. Fellow went 18 and 26 last time I saw. So Fellow, who had been kind of trying to drag them through the mud in the series in the beginning, ended up going 18 and 26. He kind of sat back, and like you said, Sib just got let free and was able to do whatever he wanted on the map. And I feel like that was huge for them. And on the side of Trash Bros, Yuli couldn't shut down Sib, and he wasn't able to go off as the best sub in NA, as we have, talked about him being. And that's not good for Trash Bros, to always rest it on one person's shoulders. And that's looking very bad for them if they only look for that consistency inside of Yuli.
Yeah, Sib had a very slow start, and that's pretty uncharacteristic, and you know that when that happens, he's usually going to bounce back. But Fox, looking at how all the maps went, like, Trash Bros basically played a man down almost every game outside of that first hard point. They were always playing with someone struggling. Yes, a lot of the times it was Jintroid, but even in that last hard point, it was Jintroid and Hollow who just couldn't find anything. Do you think it was just an outclassing compared to the two rosters, or was it just a bad off day? And should we expect Trash Bros to be able to bounce back?
Yeah, it's a tough call. It's really tough to determine that. We got our first day back on broadcast with the competition, and maybe they just got to shake out some of those jitters, really get back right back into the grind. There's really not a whole lot of explanations as to why someone like Jintroid would be struggling. I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but I have to say Jabbawockeez are looking really good right here, and Decimate shooting bodies. He was feeling just as good as he looked.
I mean, I'm surprised that Sib didn't start shooting bodies the way he was letting that thing hang. I mean, he was just going crazy, and it seemed like at some point he was going to continue to get streaks every single life. But we talk about kind of this storyline of teams making ludicrous amounts of roster changes, and is it valid? Does it hold any merit at the end of the day? North America has turned into an 8's pit, and what we clearly see now is Trash Bros, who stuck together after winning Stage 4. They had a very good showing in Game 1, and then they kind of got run through. For Jabbawockeez, the criticism going in was this feels like a team of 4 players that just put themselves together. It's very clear that if they wanted to focus on getting more cohesion, they have enough skill just to be able to do whatever they want on the map, and that's going to be the interesting takeaway going for the rest of the season if they can do that. Now let's take a look at the schedule for tonight, because we still have another match coming up. We still have more Call of Duty to watch and to be played. Lore Gaming versus UT Crew. Parasite, yes, he's back. Last time I believe it was he had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles title, but this time it's under Lore Gaming versus UT Crew. I'm very excited to watch this one. Allie, looking at the matches we've had so far today, anything from Europe or North America, whatever storyline, what stands out to you to start off Stage 5?
I mean, it's always going to be the 8-pit in NA. That kind of mind blows me every single time we do one of these, is the constant flip-flop. And for me, it's just because it's such a large pool of talented players that I feel like in NA, they constantly think, we can do better than this. Like, there's more. There's other players that I can stack myself with that'll just put me on, completely next level. I feel like a lot of NA players, when they go through challengers and they put all this work in, they want to, stack together and just pub stomp teams. They want to have that huge lead. They want to be, we're the grossest team in NA. Instead of just sticking together and working on it and being content of being a consistently good team that places top first. They want to shut down everybody. NA, I feel like, is a very aggressive pool of talented players. So I feel like we're always going to see a lot of that flip-flop.
Yeah, and that's the conversation coming in here, right? Like, a lot of pro players dropping down and a lot of storylines to be had down here, but it seems like everyone wants to make the roster that just smokes everyone else. But until we get to see what happens in our next matchup, we have to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, the final match here for tonight for North America for Stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final match of the night for North America, day one of the Challengers Elite Series Season 5. This is the end of the road, folks. This is the last season before we get into playoffs in just a couple of weeks, so every single day counts. And we are rounding out tonight with a banger of a match. We got Lord Gaming versus UT Crew, much to talk about and much to watch. I'm Spaceman, that is Allie and Fox, switched up this time. And we are going to bring you through the action of the end of tonight's matches. I am so excited to get underway. Allie, welcome back from the break. We were talking a little bit about kind of how North America has shaped out with a lot of changes in team rosters and the way that some of the, qualification matches went. We know that Censor's team knocked out TJ Halley and Methods and Frosty, and we were talking a lot about just how things have shaped up in North America. But going into this one, we got UT Crew, who is a staple in North American Challengers, a lot like BBG, who they haven't made really as many roster changes, UT Crew, but they've made one. It's because Major Maniac got called up to the league, and now we got Jimbo coming back from a hiatus, coming into this roster to join Phantoms, Rex, and Archives. So Jimbo, who we won't get into the reasons why he was out for so long, but he's back from being absent. Do you think this time off is going to hurt Jimbo's performance, or do you think this is the kind of fresh blood they need on this UT Crew team to really send them back into that position of being a top 3 team in North America?
It definitely just depends on what he did with the time off. At some point,
Sure.
It's just down to him as a player. If he spent that time off just kind of dwindling his thumbs and feeling bad for himself, or if he spent that time off grinding whatever he could play, whatever he was allowed to play. So at that point, it really just comes down to him as a player and what he did in that off time, and we'll see, the fruits of whatever he would have done in this upcoming match.
And Fox, I mean, we talk about players having so many different avenues for success in Challengers, but there's no one that's been around more when it comes to being on different teams, being in awkward situations, being in moments where it seems like there's no way he's going to come back from that. There's no way, and we're all speaking about like unfortunate roster decisions. There's no way that he's going to find a way to get a team. There's no way he's going to do it. Parasite continues to be somewhere in Challengers, and again, he's back in this situation where he could be in the top team in North America. He's now on a team in Lore Gaming where he didn't have a roster with like an hour to go before roster lock. How does he do it, man? This guy continues to be here. Talk to me about Parasite's journey and what it means for him finding a way to consistently be here every single season.
Dude's persistent. He just does not give up, and he's also happens to be really good at the game still for the last nearly 10 years now. And it's also very kind of our developers of Call of Duty to bring back the maps that he was also really good at every single year. Raid, Standoff. I mean, Parasite's in his playground. You'd be crazy in this Challenger series not to want to team up alongside him. And it seems like everyone's getting their chance.
And a lot of people you talk about them bringing back maps that he can play around with. I think a lot of people share the sentiment that Parasite would be an incredible coach because his knowledge of the game is unreal. Like, he learns the game faster than anyone in Challengers, period. He knows the game by like the first month. He knows exactly what to do, where to be, but it always just seems like, it's just 1 or 2 key clicks away from everything working out. But I think that if he continues to grind the way he has, he's going to get that big shot up in the league. And Parasite, just knowing the game the way he does, you put him on maps like Standoff and Raid and Express. The dude built Furico Impact with his gameplay. He's a world champion with Furico Impact in Black Ops 2 because of his gameplay. This is going to be a very, very fun series for us to watch, but also I think it's going to be a fun time of year for Parasite because there's a lot of maps that he thrives on. But why don't we just take a look at the maps for tonight, because this is the last series for North America for day 1. Garrison, Hardpoint, followed by Raid, followed by Garrison, followed by Checkmate, and then if we need it, we have Express. So we got 2 maps from Black Ops 2 making their way here for this series. Garrison for a double entendre, and then Checkmate here in the dead last position for a situation where if they go to a game 4, it's about to be chaos. And we know Parasite loves this map. But Allie, looking at this layout, what are you thinking about here? What's standing out to you? And do you have a favorite going into the series?
I don't know about favorites per se, but I mean, UT Crew and Lord Gaming and both these rosters just absolute toss-ups time and time again. And Parasite, we talk a lot about him, how he has been able to transform every single roster he has been on. So my personal favorite will be Lord Gaming going into this, not to mention Ramby, a name I feel like I haven't seen in quite a bit. And having Raid as their second map, I mean, you might as well just put them on the home field at that point. And UT Crew, I mean, Jimbo, he was fantastic before he had to take that break. And should he still come out about being on the level that he was on, if not higher, he's going to have Phantom and Rex beside him. Dylan Rex, we have seen him do absolutely gross things on the map time and time again. Phantoms, he is a bit of a slower AR. However, if I want anybody watching over me, Phantoms is not a bad choice. But I will say I am still leaning towards Lord Gaming just because I'm interested in what they can do.
Yeah, and we look back into Season 4, Fox, where we had Zyro, Archives, Rambi, and Performal on Team Nemo, and they were the 5th seed. They played against BBG, and they dropped that series, but Archives and Rambi were standouts for me on that original roster. Now you got Archives coming in here to UT Crew, but there's a lot of shoes to fill here, right? Because Major Maniac not only brought veteran leadership, veteran experience, veteran comms, and just a level of gameplay you don't often find down here in Challengers, and there's a reason why he's currently in the Pro League, but Jimbo comes back in from the hiatus. He has to help Archives fill that gap, and I wonder who's going to step up in that AR role. I would assume it would be Archives, but we know that Phantoms is the primary AR currently on this roster. Is there anyone sticking out to you with this newly formed UT Crew team that you need to see step up, or that you're keeping your eye on going into the series?
So we mentioned the ARs, Phantoms, and Archives, just kind of seeing how that battle's going to go out. But what I'm mainly thinking about is Jimbo. I want to see how he's going to fit jumping into this UT Crew. I'm really looking forward to see his performance here tonight against Lord Gaming. Of course, we got Rambi on the opposite side, like you mentioned, former teammate to Archives. You got Parasite, also an S&D god. So, I mean, this is a series that can certainly go the distance, and we got some star power in every game mode, I think.
Absolutely, and looking at just kind of the roster across the board, you got Yeez, Rambi, Parasite, Perform. Of course, one of the more fun clips I've seen where Parasite turned on Yeez for a 3-piece on Checkmate Hardpoint, I believe 2 seasons ago, and it was just wild, right? But we kind of look at situations here where Parasite always finds a way, and he's teamed with Yeez before, but he finds ways to aggregate young talent in a way where it brings, obviously, a new dimension out of their gameplay, but he always finds the way to extract the most out of the people he's playing with, Ali. And, you know, watching his career, is anything you can say before we get into this map where with Parasite on this team, surely it means that players like Yeez and Rambi and Perform, they're going to give it their best, maybe more than they would on another roster.
If anything, something that's been kind of a common thing when it comes to Parasite is the players he surrounds himself with, usually the young and new and upcoming guns. Not only does he pull out the best of them, but it's almost at this point, I feel like it's a passage at this point for Call of Duty. It's you have to get through Parasite before you can really say that you've made it as an AM player, before you can really say, you know, as a Challenger player, that you've made it to the level that you could possibly get pulled up to the league. So
yeah.
I feel like Parasite's kind of like that gatekeeper at this point.
Yeah, he's like the old wise man at the top of the mountain. Like, you have to go see him if you want to continue on your quest. And he knows what he's doing. There's a reason we go find him at the top of the mountain. But Parasite, we're excited to watch you play here, and we can't wait to get into the series. Let's kick off the final series of the night. A team kill to start things is not great, but don't worry. We got better action coming, and that's all brought to you by this amazing observing team. Again, Shane and Kyle, you boys are absolutely legendary. Both 6'5", fully tatted. And I have no doubt that you are the top of your profession, because you give us the best Call of Duty we've seen all day, and we could not do our job without you doing yours. Thank you so much once more. But Fox, let's get into this series. I'm excited, and I want to see who takes it.
Looking through the perspective of Archives, we're seeing Lord Gaming with control of green, as well as the hardpoint here. Of course, contested now as UT Crew start piling in, but a wave of blue fills up your kill feed here as Lord Gaming are able to tie the game up and give us our first lead change. Parasite with a triple kill right here is huge for the defense of the objective, and he's able to stay alive on middle map. Looks like he's setting up for a big flank here, and I don't think that anyone's onto him here. So if he's able to slip the net and get behind the enemy team as they're setting up for P2, that could be hugely detrimental to their moves.
And Fox, we look at a map like Moscow Hardpoint. Parasite currently running the Krieg and putting a couple of shots towards radar, is able to find one, and the teammates are there for the cleanup. But talk to me a little bit about what it means for an AR on this map specifically, and if they are efficient and, you know, competent enough to be able to carry a decent amount of the objective load, what it does for the rest of both the subs and the confidence of a roster playing on a map like this that is so crucial.
You want to create space. You want to create space for your submachine gun players to be able to move around the map freely. You'll see the AR players sitting in the back line. You'll see the AR players maybe protecting their spawn from submachine gun players that slip behind them, right? So that's just a really important part of the role that you need to have down if you're going to run an AR on this map. So taking a look at the setup at the moment on the hardpoint, we see scrap time going over to UT Crew. Jimbo last alive in the hardpoint. He should be able to get the rest of it for his team, because what's important right now is the rotation to P2. P3. All 4 players of Lore Gaming are surrounding the new hardpoint. Yeez will be the first to step into it, and now they have to face off against the submachine gun players pushing up from UT Crew. But still, again, at a distance in the back line are those AR players waiting for someone to poke out. Rambi is able to find a kill onto Jimbo, and now you see all the sub gunfights unfolding just after that.
Been a couple of flurry trades here and there, but consistently we're seeing Rambi and Yeez combining for at least 2. Jimbo trying to work some magic through the back, but the break is there, and Lore Gaming currently have the lead in their building quite nicely upon it with 28 to go. Yeez on the floor will win the gunfight out in front. 7-4 for Dylan Rex, has 2 more, and Parasite snaps him off the streak. So you look at situations like this where a couple of trades on the outside of the hill, but solid time and 1 spawn in the back, make it 2 will now come in for a contest. UT Crew can fight for this last 12 seconds, but is it really necessary at this point, Fox? I don't think so. Now you want to look at the rotation and already set up for new. Don't worry, it's Archives. UT Crew in a good position.
Looking at Archives once again in top green. As we said, you want your AR players around there. He ends up being taken down by Rambi. Another AR player taking that position as the hill is going to go over to UT Crew Jimbo. He's going to have some players staring down at him, though, and they still work it out. 3 straight kills for UT Crew. Hill players still alive, but green still contested up until Jimbo dives into the face of Rambi. Now, keeping the pressure on towards Satellite. Might have been a bit too far as he's tagged up and finished off, but you gotta admire the pressure that they were able to get off their back foot, working from that height disadvantage sitting on the hill. And so green control still going back and forth, but the players of UT Crew, they get control of the hill, they send players through green and keep forcing the issue, keep forcing Lore Gaming to have to respond to them from bricks and arches rather than fighting from green or middle map.
And Rex just picks up a Krieg and starts dealing some damage of his own. 95 to 73. So what was a lead on P3, now on P4. UT Crew getting it right back, and we have to worry about the adjacent hill on the opposite side of this tank. But Phantoms is under the vent, and Phantoms could shut down that front push for Perform with the perfect read, and the prediction pays off. But here comes Jimbo, 13 and 10. He'll get shot in the back by Rambi. So we see gunfights ensuing on the outside of the hill, but don't put a lot of pressure on the time. And now with 45 seconds to go, he's gonna hop out of lights and just play his life. Parasite with 2 in the kill feed, and they're all doing what they need to do to bring this lead back.
Lore Gaming, trailing by 30 seconds, find themselves in control of the hard point. You also got a player behind the enemy lines. That's Parasite in their face. The Krieg trying to find a kill, tagged up, unable to do it, and Phantoms clears out the base. This is what we mentioned previously, the importance of those AR players to keep that spawn safe. And now this gives the UT Crew some room to work with here as they move up towards the middle of the map to try and contest this hard point. Their lead has shrunk into just about 10 seconds here now.
You got Archives at 26 seconds in the hill, 6 and 12. On the other side, everyone, about dead even, if not a couple of kills ahead. As Rex tries to work his way up to top green, has 2 more in front that he will have to deal with. Teammate was in there for support, but quickly falls, and now it's just a numbers advantage, and you win that trade every single time if you're Lore Gaming. But we go back to P1 in our second set of hills. Things quietly slow down. And now we wonder, how will Lore Gaming hold on to this hill, more importantly set up for radar? Rambi pushing up so far past that 50-yard line, has to worry about spawns, but as he backs up, they are still there for UT Crew, so things are fine for Lore Gaming. They can kind of funnel UT Crew into their sights like they're doing now, as Rambi finds 2. Can he find 3? Well, he buys enough time for the rest of his teammates to get back to mid-map. 1 cut through, which was Phantoms, and he escapes with his life. Yeez cleans up everything else in caution. And Parasite on your screen will just take down more. On a force spree, finally he falls, and now we worry about P2, but that hill was basically all Lore Gaming, and it's still relatively quiet on the top of green.
Green control over to Lore Gaming. Of course, that is not on accident. They're set up for the new hard point. On the opposite side of the map, we see some players starting to pour through from old into lights. They will be met with the defensive setup in the back spawn of Lore Gaming for this new hill. Again, there's 2 players in the back. Rambi and Perform holding it down. It's closed. You can't come out of there for free. There's always a cost. 3 fall. It's just Phantoms all on his lonesome. And so now he's trying to wait and not get staggered, but it's a bit too late. So his 3 teammates coming up from mid are pushing outnumbered. They're still pushing into the hard point with 2 players in the back of their spawn. We'll have to see how this all unfolds, but you have to imagine that Lore Gaming just continues racking up hill time as UT Crew fights outnumbered and from poor positions.
Well, Jimbo's first big series back so far, having himself quite a nice outing with 45 seconds to his name. And Rambi has been in this position before, able to find both. Great shots from Rambi. Here comes the cleanup from Phantoms. Oh, Phantoms almost gets 3, but Perform with the dip and the dive, the movement, a little bit too nasty. Jimbo. Worried about the P3 rotation, as they should be. The lead grows for Lore Gaming. All of that P2 hill put right in their back pocket. If they win this next rotation, if they're able to win the next maybe 30 seconds, right, you're looking for one big break, they can put this game out of reach. But UT Crew have all the time in the world and all the resources to bring this one back. That nade will slow things down, but it's up to Jimbo to try to find at least one or two. Keep those front aggressors from putting too much pressure on the hill. Phantoms quickly falls, and the hold looks like it might crumble very quickly as Lore Gaming push their way in.
Double negative is Archives, who hasn't quite been able to find his footing yet in this map, but still his team is trailing behind by only about 30 seconds. They're certainly still in this game. And we see they're still able to maintain control, keeping the submachine gun pressure up as they clear people out of shadow here. Several around middle map. Big dogfight going on there before anyone can even get to the objective. The scrap time appears to be going to no one unless Ramby sets foot in the remaining seconds, but he will be mapped by two different UT Crew players as once again we're rotating towards green for the next hard point. And so last time what we saw was a lot of players on the side of UT Crew continue to send players through green, flooding into satellite and keeping the pressure up on Lore Gaming from arches. We're seeing a bit more of that now, but Ramby and Perform were able to get through the first line of defense. Let's see what they do with it, as there are still two players on the opposite side of the map waiting for them in lights.
UT Crew are doing a very good job of reading numbers on the map. When they know they have 2 or 3 dead, they're not seeing the remaining players of Lore Gaming, so they're going on the hunt and they're finding them at mid-map. They're recognizing the playstyle that Lore Gaming are giving up a little bit of time to send one on an isolated route to rotate early to try to find spawns and or new hill time. UT Crew are doing a fantastic job of recognizing that hit through mid-map and shutting it down quickly. However, they give up a little bit of hill time early and they give up a hold as Jimbo slides in. He gets shot by Parasite. Ease will drop 1. So you see a couple of players quickly trying to funnel back into the hill to contest, but it's all being quickly stuffed. And it doesn't look like anyone will come in for a challenge. We will see another lead change here. UT Crew had it up to 189. Finally, Lore Gaming get it back and they get P5. This has been a great hold on the floor for the boys in blue.
Lore Gaming finding us another lead change. Rotating to the next hard point, we still see players of UT Crew surrounding it around lights and middle map, so it's not going to be free. The competition still just around the corner, and we have to see these fights incoming here. Perform ready for it. He had his gun up and takes down Phantoms. The utility coming out as well. He did get the tag with the Semtex. That's a bit of support right there for the team, as he also lines up enough shots on Jimbo to take him down. So all the gunfights on middle map here so far going in favor of Lore Gaming. They've done great so far this game on managing the hard point amidst all the chaos and gunfights from the submachine gun players. Phantom's just around the corner once again. 21 kills to his name now as he finds his 4th streak, meeting the rest of the players with 20 kills plus in the lobby. He's definitely been a difference maker with the AR in the middle to late stages of this game, and he ends on 5.
When he starts to get going, Fox, it can just swing a game right back into UT Crew's hands. So far, the 2 additions in Archives and Jimbo, they're playing to their potential. Archives, though, a little bit too negative, but never mind. He's going to turn things around on a 3 spree. Getting close to a possibility of streaks, but Rex on the opposite end. Massive gunfight. He'll get into the hill. They should get the lead back. Currently inside Jimbo and Phantoms working together. Rex now. Throwing shots out. Has catwalk control. Doesn't want to relinquish it. But Fox, you're already thinking about P2 here. And you need the positioning to be perfect for UT Crew if they want to win this game.
You got to be thinking about UT Crew, but you also got to be thinking about Dylan Rex, who has just been unkillable for the last hill, and is also set up inside green with trophy systems at the ready. The rest of his team surrounding and getting position to support him there. Jimbo pulling triple kills out like it's nothing. It's a very scary moment to be a Lore Gaming player. As they're all running up from middle map, they're going to have their first attempt through green here shortly, but they will be met by a well-positioned UT Crew.
Only 25 points needed. You win it on this hill by a large margin. Test comes in. No one around currently for Lore Gaming. They have to find a way to move through. It's up to Ramby, really. Opening kills are huge. He wins 1. That's massive because now you can push through bricks and you can just overwhelm UT Crew in the hill, but you have to contest. Here it comes. Numbers inside. Perform. Able to win a massive gunfight. He wins both. They get inside, but they will not win the game here. If you're UT Crew, maybe send one player to try to contest a little. Everybody else fall back and go to caution, go to P3, win the game there.
That's a big stop, but how do you hold it and where do you go from here? UT Crew is just 6 seconds away from winning the game. You cannot allow them to set foot in this hard point uncontested in this way. They do just that, clear it out, finish the job. 250 to 227. UT Crew is able to maintain that lead and close out the map.
I like the decision. Don't even worry about trying to rotate, right? Like, just bring the fight there. If we feel like we can break, we'll worry about that later. They get in, they contest, they get a full wipe. They finish the game, and Phantoms with the best play here. I mean, he was starting to really kick up.
Oh, yeah.
His last couple of lives, I mean, that two-piece is huge. It opens up the floor. It opens up possibilities. And then he moves up with Rex and top green. You got stair control. You're talking about so many different ways you can approach the P2 hill. It got a lot easier, and I was expecting UT Crew to give up those last couple of seconds and just go hit the early rotation, but Lore Gaming were already rotated out, and I think they were thinking the same thing, and UT Crew jumped that decision-making. They said, oh, okay, you're going to rotate too? We're just going to go challenge the hill on P2 and win it. So, I mean, looking at this game as a whole, it was a lot of back and forth. This was one of the closer hard points we've had today, and for North America, right, and looking at how Lore Gaming played it, a lot of double kills, a lot of triple kills, but UT Crew, their ARs really carried the load in the end, Fox, and those last couple of hills, they were crucial to closing out the game.
Oh, absolutely. Dylan, Rex, and Phantoms towards the late stages, middle, and late stages of that game were huge for the success of UT Crew right there. I mean, you saw UT Crew's Dylan Rex all around green and satellite. He was doing a whole lot of damage for the team. And, I mean, his presence was certainly felt. He was able to keep the Lore Gaming players at bay. Once he planted his feet, that was the end of it.
You know, it's easy to have a relatively simple approach to hardpoint when your ARs are shooting the way the Phantoms was. And again, shout out to Rex for how he played in green, how he's able to play in catwalk. But Archives and Jimbo did their job. Archives, who really kicked it up, right? There were situations where I think Archives was like down by 6 kills or something like that. He brought it back in the last couple of hard points. But being able to really push yourself and get those extra couple of kills when the game's about to end, or when you need to step up and lock down a hill, it's so important. And UT Crew showing resilience there. They take map 1. Now we go to an S&D where things again can be dicey, because we've seen all day long that the S&D is usually the swing game. We go to Raid. Raid has a way of neutralizing things, but we look at this situation where I wonder if there's going to be any different strats we see, because again, this is Parasite's home. But looking at how UT Crew played, if Rex and Phantoms are shooting the way they are, surely the sub pressure will not be too much.
Right. I mean, of course, Lore Gaming, they have that asset of Parasite that it knows good and well how to play the map Raid, but we also got to look at UT Crew. I mean, these guys are no slouches. They came to play. They showed up in map 1 in a beautiful way, and I'm looking forward to see how it unfolds once we get to the estate on Raid. I mean, UT Crew looks good so far in this series. We'll have to see if they can take it all the way.
I'm excited. I can't wait to get into it. I believe we have all the players in the lobby. If you guys have been enjoying the action today, let us know in the YouTube chat who you predicted in this series. Who's the player you're looking out for? Are you excited to watch Parasite on Raid once?
You gotta
I've
be.
Seen it a couple
you
of
gotta
times.
be.
You have to be. Like, come on, dude. The minute they announced this, the first thing we all thought of was all the old players who are going to be in Challengers. How exciting it's going to be to see them on maps like Raid, on maps like Express, on maps like Standoff. I just, I wish we could have just like a Parasite cam in the corner the entire time, because I just want to see how he approaches it. But
yeah, tuning into the Challenger stream for North America every year, he's always a major part of the storylines. I mean, this guy comes in and brings so much entertainment value, not just because of his raw skill, but also his dedication to the game, to the series. His interest in just learning all of the intricacies of the game, even against competition that he's not playing with in this Challenger series, he's always taken the time to learn about how to step it up.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing, really, I guess kind of the one storyline we can kind of harp on here. Jimbo, sure, has had time to practice, and we know that he's been grinding and practicing in his time off, but I think this is his first time in months, at least, playing at this level when it comes to Raid S&D, when it comes to Express, if we get there, even Standoff, right? Like, this is his first time approaching it. So I just wonder, I don't think there will, but will there be any jitters here? Will there be any nerves going into this? Because he hasn't played at this level on these maps and modes in a long time. And it's not like the rest of these players who have been here for the past couple of weeks or here just a month ago, right? Grinding through this kind of stuff. So we go to a map like Raid where, most people should know it, right? But I wonder, might that be a factor, Fox?
Nobody likes to think about that first impression before or after it happens. It's always so scary, you know. He's coming back into the competition, facing off against some of the fiercest competitors we got. And of course, we're talking about Parasite in that. So the intimidation factor is there. But the question is he really going to let that get to him? Jimbo has also been a threat in his own right in the Challenger Series for the past several seasons. Well, except for the ones that he was not competing in, of course. So I'm looking forward to see what UT Crew brings to the table here against Lure Gaming, and I think that they're definitely going to go the distance in this series.
Well, we got Rambi, Parasite, Yeez, and Perform going into this S&D, and for Lure Gaming, this is a hell of a map to be able to bounce back on. For Yeez, he's been one of the more electric subs in North America. I mean, we talked about, you know, ranking some of the subs in challengers when it comes to teams like Easter and Wester used to exist, but you got to put up there, it was like John and Ulysses and Yeez and Sib when he's running it. Like, there were so many names that were coming to a head, and really the ones that have stuck out the most for me are people like Yeez, people like Ulysses and John, who just got called up to 100 Thieves, so congratulations to him. It was only a matter of time before someone picked him up. He was unreal in the Challenger circuit.
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's a lot of sub talent, and I know that we always make that joke, like the community is like, oh, it's an AR dominated league, and to some extent, sure it is, but there are sub players in Challengers Elite Series who are just filthy, and I think that that's often overlooked by a lot of people, how much talent there currently is at that role.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen just how important that role is to so many of these maps. We saw it dictate the flow of several hills on Garrison. You're going to see it again here on Raid. I mean, the M8 was famous for it. The Krieg is certainly making a difference. And the range the AK-74U is able to be used at is a big factor as well. Loading into the lobby, we're going to be taking a look through the perspective of Lure Gaming on their offensive round here. And it looks like they're favoring that B bomb site. Once again, wide open spaces, long lanes. Top bedroom is oh so important, and Perform is well aware of that with the Krieg in his hand.
Well, Zig is a dangerous spot to be in. You see why. Everyone now dropping 2 kills apiece for both sides. 2v2 make it a 2v1. Numbers advantage here for Lure Gaming, and Perform and top bedroom will relinquish that position before Phantoms goes for the small peek. If he's lucky, I mean, one timing, he gets this to a 1v1. And they rotate. He catches one. Yep. Trigger discipline is massive. Well done. Phantoms now might catch them. As you know, they're rotating through kitchen. This is going to be a tough one.
Parasite, alongside his teammate Perform, wrapping around through laundry here. They end up getting caught. Phantoms was able to take down Parasite from a distance. Big stop right there, narrowing this down to a 1v1. Isolating those gunfights oh so successfully. I think you might have spotted each other at a distance there. Form coming out of laundry. Phantoms is going to tag him up a bit, back off. Keep wasting that time. But you see the bomb down on the A site, and Perform set top circle, looking for his prey here. Not too close, but that does give him quite enough time to pick a bomb site to plant that here. You know, he actually decides to run towards middle map, so he's going to run out of time here shortly, and UT Crew is going to take the round.
I mean, Phantoms was playing it as perfectly as possible, but this is a situation where I know Performer's worried about getting peaked. At this point, it's a lose-lose. You put it down, you still have to worry about where he's coming from. If you don't put it down, the round's lost. So you quite literally just have to plant it, even if you're going to get smoked. That's a situation where Perform's thinking, you know, I have to make the challenge. No, dude, just put the bomb down. Worry about the challenge later. Best case scenario, you get shot while you're putting it down. I mean, there's no win there. It's a Kobayashi Maru.
Right.
1-1. Yeah.
Perform shaking up a little bit there. Lots of decisions to make, and he decided, well, now I'm just not doing it. Several players from UT Crew all stacked up towards the A site. We got one top art. They're going to be met by 2 different players on middle map. Looking at Dylan Rex, he's going to put some shots down range towards pillars and not connect with a whole lot. But there's still a lot of pressure to be looming around the corner here, and back rocks. Perform is going to be the first to fall. Rambi's still alive and going for the wall bang, not connecting with a whole lot. Just kind of a desperate attempt to connect with something there. Dylan Rex and Jimbo finding kills as well. No response just yet. UT Crew cleans them all out that quickly.
Sitting here watching him shoot through a brick wall, like, you could shoot through that?
I don't think you can. At least I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think maybe a couple hit markers were from his teammate, but I was absolutely mind blown. Parasite gets ripped. And Rex, I believe, cleaned up the last kill on Yeez as he rotates. through the back of kitchen. So 2 quick rounds, 2 good rounds, 3 spree for Dylan Rex. Bomb carrier for Lore Gaming was yet to be decided. We'll find out in a moment. But aside from basically 1 round, which, you know, give or take hindsight 2020, this is basically not a deficit at all. They can come back from this easily. 3-3. Randy putting a couple shots out, gets tagged, has to back up.
3v3 now. Bomb on the B side of the map. They will be met with 1 play in the basketball court. That's Phantoms turning the corner here. He will be met by both Yeez and the bomb planter in just a brief moment. Catching one at a distance, that's a big stop if he's able to take down Parasite. Trade comes through right away. Yeez playing off of that communication and the gun sounds. Someone is coming from money, though. Danger is so close. That's Jimbo. And it's happening in the bedroom as well. Archives loses the gunfight. And the remaining player, Yeez, now left in a 1 versus 1 against Jimbo, who hops right on the objective immediately. Does Yeez check the bomb site in time? Clock's ticking. Catches him in his legs with just enough rounds to end it.
Yeah, you just check it. Just go ahead and fly to the site. If he's sticking it, you got it. Worst case scenario, you burn time. Well done. Very clinical S&D so far. They get 1 back. 2-1. Welcome in if you're just joining us. This is the conclusion of North America here tonight for day 1 of Stage 5, the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series. Second and last match of the night, Lore Gaming versus UT Crew. A couple of roster changes for both teams, but a very interesting series so far. UT Crew took the opening hardpoint. And so far, it's basically been all of them in this S&D. Yeez on your screen. Might be able to find Jimbo. He will. First blood again for Lore Gaming.
Yeah, big first blood right there. Still stays alive. Middle map completely held down by 2 players, Rambi and Yeez at this point. Phantoms is just kind of holding on, waiting to stop any sort of a flank. So that's a good spot for him to be in. We see the bomb carrier Archives pushed up alongside Dylan Rex. Great place for both of them to be at Laundry right now, which has been completely given up by the side of Lore Gaming. But they do have several players so close that they're ready to pounce as soon as this objective goes down. Archives plants the bomb, and it looked like he planted for the side of top Laundry. 3 players inside. We'll see how it unfolds. Looks like they're going to try and go through kitchen to take it back over. Going right for the flank, but they will be met with Rambi around the corner. Dylan Rex takes his head off. Next, they would be met by Perform, but they wrap back through middle map. They're able to check the bomb and circle.
Wow.
Dylan Rex with another headshot. Tagged up by Yeez. Finally finished off. Phantoms is there to try and make a difference here with Yeez last alive, but he still wins the engagement. Taking down UT Crew is able to come out on top in the end. That was a really interesting play after that bomb plant. I gotta say, I really like where UT Crew's head is at.
It was a 3v4 the whole way through. This is the biggest opening kill because once that happens, they have no idea that Phantoms is in art. Rex wraps back and just gets a beautiful kill on Parasite. That was a 3v4. Lore Gaming were 4-stacking in Laundry. They were trying to work through Spiral, but UT Crew wrap through kitchen. They get an incredibly good kill in the back, and then Rex peels off the play and goes right back to the pillars, and he finds a kill on Parasite. They had no idea that Phantoms was in art. Phantoms' position helped them win that round. That, I agree with you. Where their head is at, that was perfect. That was so well executed in the retake. Well, less retake, but more just the round itself. You guys know. Call of Duty stuff, S&D stuff. It's cool.
Straight through middle map. Bomb carrier met with a couple of teammates. The only opposition ran straight through kitchen into money and did not challenge them on zigs. They were able to get through mid into zig onto the A-bomb site for free. They also get a kill for their troubles, taking down Archives. So far, no response from the side of UT Crew. It's all up to Dylan Rex in a 1v4 with the bomb down.
Make it a 1v3. You got 37 seconds. Yeah, it's doable, but you're 7-3. You're not close to streaks. If it gets down to like 20, don't feed kills. Maybe think about jumping off the map. But he's going to go for it. I mean, I don't blame him. He's still confident. He'll get shot in the back. Lore Gaming, get another round.
All right, Lore Gaming starting to pull themselves back into this game. We've seen UT Crew pretty well put together so far in this search and destroy, of course. Very clearly communicating with one another. Very well coordinated plays. We saw them able to funnel down through mid and make things happen. Lore Gaming doing just the same here on their offensive round. But now we're going to give another opportunity to UT Crew to get the bomb and do some damage with it. Looking through the eyes of Dylan Rex, 7 kills to his name so far, just 5 rounds into this search and destroy. And we've seen how many of those were headshots. This man's AR is certainly a pleasure to watch, and he's always going to make his presence felt, it seems.
Couple of shots for Phantoms, letting them know he's there, but don't worry, Zig control with all 3 members stacked inside. It will be Lord Gaming. Bomb goes down, and I love that play. Phantoms just draws attention away from the site, and now how do you get the retake if you're Lord Gaming? You have one on the outskirts. It's Ramby, who's going to hit the longest rotation through pools, but he's working to the back, shuts down that anchor. This is the best possible situation to be in. The retake is possible, and it comes from Yeez. He needs one more, and this is their round. He's going to get an Archives. No Archives escapes. But don't worry, the collapse from pools.
Oh!
What a retake from Lore. That is how you play S&D. Well done, Lore Gaming.
That looked pretty good. That looked like a pretty good retake. Lore Gaming comes through, does not drop a single player, clears out bedroom without ever setting foot in it. I mean, what more can you ask for a retake?
I'm going to give him the skirt. I'm going to give it. That was perfect. A hell of a retake.
Beautiful play.
Literally clinical S&D. Oh, that just made me so happy.
Tied up 3-3. UT Crew loses their offensive round, handing the bomb back over to Lore Gaming. Yeez now at the top of the lobby with 8 kills to his name on a 3 streak. They were able to clear out bedroom from a distance. A well-executed pinch from both sides there. And as we look to the pressure that's coming up through middle map here, it's just Dylan Rex and Archives. Ramby catching one at a distance and backing up before the pressure gets to him there. Tagged up bloody red on his screen. We see the bomb go down on B. Further a distance away from that engagement towards the B bomb site. Jimbo still getting behind the enemy here as he's able to kill one inside garage. Now has 2 to deal with in the bedroom. We've seen this before. We saw how it unfolded when it was UT Crew's turn. Let's see what Jimbo can do. Perform on stairs, ends up catching Archives in his back. Untraded so far. Bomb still down. Keep that in mind as Phantoms drops on it to defuse. 17 seconds remain. All he needs is 7.5. No one's looking, and they stop him just at the last second. Lore Gaming does not skip a beat.
So the play was designed this way. I think Jimbo was working through the back a lot like what Yeez did a round prior, and they were hoping that Phantoms would work down pool steps. If they get a break there, they win over Tiki, they win that power position, you try to stick bomb and have a Guardian Angel over you watching the site. It didn't work because you saw Perform work through the back and take down one. So at that point, Phantoms just walks his way through the chaos and says, I'm going to quietly slip underneath and just go for a sticky defuse. If he gets it, that's one of the best clutches you're ever going to see on Race S&D. It just didn't work, but Phantoms made something out of nothing. That is the best way to respond in that round. Just doesn't work out. Can't blame him for trying, but guess what? What a punch from Phantoms to respond. 2v1, 2v0. Lore Gaming take it 5-3, 1 round away from winning this S&D.
Swift round right there. Yeez went out, got his 5 streak, and went home. He was taken down shortly thereafter, but just look at how quickly things crumbled around Zig here. Really great start to the round there. And I gotta say, Lore Gaming looking pretty good in this search and destroy. They're looking very well polished and positioned to win it all here.
I mean, they're playing these counters so intelligently, and it's not that UT Crew aren't doing the same. I mean, UT Crew, specifically Phantoms, are trying to make something out of nothing, and those are like 200 IQ plays. But Lore Gaming are just ready for it. This is truly a battle of the minds here, and you know Parasite has his boys ready. Currently 6-5 for him, your bomb carrier. Perform able to tag a couple, so you have ideas of where numbers may be. Ramby finds first blood once more through Zig, and that opening peak pays off again. Lore Gaming have numbers, and well, here come the collapse, and here come the challenges. 4v1, this should do it.
Yeah, UT Crew's crumbling here in this round of Search and Destroy. Jimbo looked pretty helpless middle map, getting taken down from both sides there. You saw Ramby was able to stay alive afterwards and keep the pressure up towards pool stairs. Lore Gaming is going to take that 1-6-3. Tying up our series here 1-1 here, Space. It was a really exciting fight for maybe the first 5 or 6 rounds, and then Lore Gaming just started to run away with it.
North America will have no clean 3-0 sweeps here on the mainstream. I mean, it has been back and forth, but really, Fox, we look at that S&D, and I think the key takeaway was that round where Yeez hits the flank, and he helps them secure one of the best retakes on the site you'll ever see on Raid. Ever since then, it was all of Lore Gaming. They were in full control of the game. They were in the driver's seat, and everything that UT Crew threw at them, they countered perfectly. It was purely just reading through the opponents and reading through the plays. I mean, here are the replays, guys. I can't say much more than that. It was just a fun-ass S&D to watch.
What a scary moment to be UT Crew. Plant the bomb 3 versus 4. Position yourselves perfectly in bedroom and still lose the round. They just did not come out on top on those gunfights. They crumbled instantly. And Lure Gaming, several rounds around that moment in the game, were able to do just that to them. Just a beautiful retake and an awesome conclusion to the search and destroy.
And the battle on the start, it was UT Crew. They went up 2-0. You had the 1v1 that didn't go Lore Gaming's way, and then a nice clutch by UT Crew to go up 2-0. And then after that, I just couldn't get anything rolling, right? Like the team strats through mid were just there for Lore Gaming. The amount of first bloods that Ramby was able to find. Again, positioning in Zig for the spawn peak on the start of every round. Lore Gaming took advantage. They went up 2-0 for UT Crew. They got one round after that. But it was all of Lore Gaming and their counters. And that was a fun S&D. That was my favorite S&D so far of today. But now we go into Garrison Control, which we just saw a couple of minutes ago, right, in our last series for Trash Bros and Jabbawockeez. But that one was very much dependent on players making big plays, like Jintroy, who was like 1-5 but stayed alive in Bricks. But Bricks control and top green control is huge, like it's always been in both hardpoints and controls. But looking at how this one's going, Fox, we just saw a bounce back, now tied 1-1. Do you think the momentum swung back in favor of Lore Gaming? And if so, what do they need to do going into this game 3 to go up 2-1 in the series?
I think Lore Gaming went into that search and destroy thinking they were going to win it from the start. I mean, we got some of the most competent players in the Challenger Series on that roster. UT Crew, certainly no slouches, but I mean, even if Lore Gaming were a weaker team, like they would still come in here just as confident. Stellar performances that you should expect out of players like Ramby and Parasite. And I think that we're going to see UT Crew still do some damage in the respawns here. Dylan Rex is hot right now.
Got Checkmate Hardpoint coming up after this game 3. Currently tied 1-1 in the series. If you're just joining us, you missed a thriller of a Hardpoint, and you missed a very exciting and mentally stimulating S&D. Lore Gaming taking it 6-3. Sure. Some of the most fun I've had watching a team retake a site in quite some time. And that is the beauty of Raid. You can pull all stuff like that. Shout out Yeez for the play in the back. Takes out the Anchor AR. Phantoms will live to see another day. But now we go into Control on Garrison. You guys know the drill. You know how hard it is for offenses to win this map. For defenses, it all comes through those steps. And top green Control, can you put your subs in Bricks and find the damage and deal it out? Or will we see Lore Gaming go up 2-1 in the series? I have a feeling this one might be going the distance to all 5 games, but so far today, that's kind of how North America's been. Just very scrappy, back and forth, both teams trading blows. Let's see who comes out here.
That's right. It all depends. Who's going to show up? Will you perform when there's money right in front of you? That's the question. Tens of thousands of dollars up for grabs in the Call of Duty Challenger Series. As we hop into this Control, we're looking through the perspective of the guys on UT Crew. Archives, able to get the first kill, get a little bit of time on the point here, but we see the pressure from Lore Gaming was so soon, just around the corner, and they're able to clear it all out. Gunfights are not over just yet as Phantoms from the back line is looking to support his team on the point.
And like you said, trying to help out where he can. So far, so good. 2 in a row. Good way to start this one off. And speaking of which, Jimbo combining for 2. Everyone now on the point, splitting their resources. Again, we haven't seen this a lot today, and it's very standard in Control, but everybody's been focused on bunching up and kind of turtling on a point. They want to put both members on both sides as quickly as possible, get what they can where they can. B will be locked down momentarily. We'll put another minute on the clock. All you need is an extra tick, and there it will be. As 2 will fall, perform with a nice double kill on the nade. All 4 dead. Lore Gaming able to wipe the board clean from UT Crew, but still, they have a little bit of progress on A. Probably won't last for long, but Fox, you split your resources, you get one locked down. Now you just got to focus on that.
Focusing on A is right, and you got a minute and 45 to do it. Let's see what the progress through middle map looks like as Lore Gaming seem to be clearing it all out. Still, several players lining up. Players 2, 3, and 4 for the side of UT Crew. 2 of the 3 fall. Jimbo being the last alive from that wave of engagements. He was able to take down Ramby and is now progressing from green into satellite to keep the pressure up on the A point. There's one player just around the corner that keeps giving them trouble, though, and that's Yeez, who seems to want to hold on to this for dear life and defend the point. Still, losing the gunfight to Phantoms, who is now just going to be waiting for his team to come up off spawn and support him. Expect to see the next wave of engagements begin here shortly. Again, just 60 seconds on the clock to work with. Time is a commodity in this round. They don't have a whole lot of it left.
Lives are a commodity as well. 14 v 12. Lore Gaming on defense. So far, so good. Working to the back is Jimbo. Wins 1. He can get behind a Bricks. I mean, this opens up so many possibilities for how they approach this point. Nice shots on the turn. I mean, that's just spatial awareness and understanding of where players might be challenging from. Yeez might be the next victim. Escapes with his life, but how long will it last? Jimbo working through the back on the longest flank of his lifetime.
Is it going to work? Looks like it's going to work. He's able to find the player he's looking for. Parasite holding it down on the back line ends up being taken out. 30 seconds left on the clock, guys. Keep that in mind. We still see the players on Lord Gaming sitting right on top of the objective, preventing Archives from making any sort of progress to it. You see Ramby jumping up and down from the satellite, able to support his team as well. And I mentioned how an AR is threatening here. Ramby's got both an AR and a sub. He's able to switch it up and move around. The maneuverability, oh so important. No respawns remaining for the side of UT Crew. That 8-4 lead for the side of Lord Gaming. No more mistakes.
Whew. That's a wicked turn and burn. 7v3. This should be basically done. And it will be. First round goes to Lord Gaming. Comes down to simple time and lives, is which they had both. Nice job as well on the defensive end. I mean, Jimbo, I believe, was taking the longest route of all time, but don't worry, Ramby was here, and that brick control, right? We talk about it so many times on this map and mode. Yes, top grade is pivotal. Yes, having an AR and catwalk is huge for watching the bottom floor, but if you have a sub who is just dominating in bricks, it literally shuts down like 25, 26% of the effectiveness of breaking open the site.
You gotta watch
Arches.
Arches.
It's ridiculous.
You gotta watch Arches. You gotta watch Bricks. Absolutely. It's oh so important, and we're gonna see it play out every single time on the A point throughout the rest of this Garrison control. Right off the bat, we're seeing one player fall instantly. Dylan Rex headshotted as he goes to set up a defense on the B site. So now that's gonna tell the Lord Gaming players that they can send everyone over to hop on top of the point and clear out the remaining player because everyone else is on defense at A. They do just that. No one's on the objective just yet. They've given Dylan Rex enough time to come up off of spawn and challenge them again from lights. So that's going to be the player to take down next. They do just that again. Perform still alive on bricks is what's keeping this play going here. Now he's going to hop into the enemy spawn and try and disrupt them.
If Archives challenges, he's absolutely toast. And he won't. Doesn't matter. Almost switches the DMAT and gets it done, but you're basically waiting for Rex and Phantoms to drop, then you jump on B. They get both down. He's able to slide challenge, gets destroyed. Okay, that's a clean wipe. And now you can remove some of that progress on that last tick. So it looked like it was going to be a very clinical B point. We're moving right to A, and this round might be done. But all of a sudden, UT Crew hold on. The defense shows up, and they get massive kills at massive times. Perform will slide out with his life. 9 and 4 for Phantoms on the floor. Can he find anything?
UT Crew has Dylan Rex and Jimbo to thank for that last stop right there because B was certainly on its way to being capped. Phantoms and Dylan Rex finding 2 kills on middle map is huge here. They're going to have to stop Archives here shortly if they want to continue their progress on the point. But no, coming up through lights, once again, that sucker punch is able to take down Perform, clearing out the B site. Lure Gaming on their back foot with just about 30 seconds left on the clock. They need to secure this B point here if they want any hopes of getting a chance at A.
You got one push, that's it. You got one single push, and this round's done. That's gonna be it, unless you rotate to A. Player number 7, Parasite. He snaked behind. Oh my god, Parasite snuck behind. He is right behind him. This is perfect. Jimbo has to turn around, and Jimbo guns him. Oh, Haggy. Oh, no. Haggy, what are you doing? He gets absolutely gunned. They're gonna get on, though. Perform is there. They're gonna get some progress here on A. Somehow, someway, with 0 seconds. What the hell is happening? They're on the point. Surely this doesn't happen. Surely this is not possible. There's 0 seconds on the clock. Like, there's no way this can happen. If you clean them off, it's done. All you need is 1 kill. Rex gonna shut him down, but they're still on B. Oh my sweet lord. They're still doing it. Oh, they get cleaned up. The challenge is in. Are you kidding me? What the hell is happening? Oh my god, they put a minute on the clock. Oh god. How is this happening?
Love it. Love it. Parasite gets gunned, and in the midst of all of this chaos, they're still just fighting for their life, trying to get that last tick, trying to keep the pressure up on the A site to keep the clock from ticking down to absolute 0. Of course, we got milliseconds that aren't represented there on the chart. So we take a look at the way that things are shaped up now. They still have no lives left to try and attack the B site, so it ends up going to UT Crew anyway. But what an exciting round of control, Space.
Listen, I have been casting Call of Duty since 2013. I have never, ever seen anything like that. Fox, you've been casting
That was
Call
a
of
whole
Duty
lot of fun.
as long as me. I guarantee you have never seen anything like that.
Hey, I've seen a lot of crazy things. I've watched Skunk play this game for years. I've watched Parasite play this game for years, but that was funny. That was an exciting moment. Love that.
0 seconds on the clock. And they got in. Parasite hit the best rotation of his life and got absolutely rinsed. Oh my god. If you're not watching Challengers, what the hell's wrong with you?
Always an exciting show here. Always an exciting show. Tied up at 1-1, hopping into the next round. We're taking a look at the perspective of Phantoms, who's coming into this round 16-6 on a 4 streak before being taken down. Definitely a big part of the reason why Lure Gaming was struggling along to capture that B point last round. So now we see them on another opportunity to play defense here. One player getting up in their face, that's going to be Yeez, who's able to find a kill and get out with his life. Acting as a bit of a buffer before the guys of UT Crew can get to the B point. They still have not been able to get close to this objective after that initial bit of time. And Yeez, the player you have to thank, he really extended that life to its complete limit. Now it's Ramby's turn to follow it up, finding 1 kill on the bottom floor. Phantoms going to be hopping out here, or Dylan Rex from the high ground to take him out surely. That should be an easy trade. Parasite looking to make a difference here and act as the final line of defense before his teammates come up off of that back spawn. And so we're going to see more objective progress from UT Crew.
22-21. We will not see a repeat of last round. I refuse to believe it's mathematically possible. But nonetheless, Archives is in on the point, and they're working on that second bit of progression. They will get it. Now you're wondering, do Lore Gaming challenge this? Do you push 3 or 4 members up to really contest this point? Or do you hold on to the lives you have and just focus on the defensive hold at A? I think it's going to be the latter. And right now, it's up to Jimbo on the floor. He finds nothing, so B will be completely locked down. Now here comes the collapse, though. Archives has to win this contest. So Lore Gaming bide their time. They get the kills necessary, and then they just push up as a team. I mean, again, that takes so much trust in your teammates to pull off and execute. It's so much easier said than done, but they do it regardless. 24 seconds to go. If you're UT Crew, you have to get on to B somehow, some way. Lore Gaming pull a unicorn out of a hat, and I don't know how in the world they're doing this, but they are.
And that was so scary, too, because that entire play was hinging on the players and Lights being able to set foot and stay alive without getting Semtexed out of his position. Dylan Rex now hops right back onto the B point to try and get the 3rd tier. But there are Lure Gaming players right around the corner ready to do some damage. 3 kills straight is what they commit to, and the only player that's able to respond is Phantoms. Double kill from a distance, it's still not enough. Lure Gaming, they're going to hold on tight and win out that round.
Did we do something to upset the COD gods? What is happening in this control? There was 3 members on that point for 15 seconds. Everybody in the position they shouldn't die in died. And then you get a full push from Lore Gaming. They break in, they contest, they clear everyone off the point. Like, that is the situation where you write down, this is exactly what needs to happen for us to win this round. And they did every single thing right.
It was the catalyst, that contest in the hard point from Lights.
Real.
Setting it all up.
Like, again, I'm harping on it because I don't think people understand how everything needed to go perfectly for that round to even work out the way it did. Lore Gaming, what kind of luck do these guys have?
Hopping into the next round. Parasite nearing 30 kills in this lobby. He's definitely got more than enough time to do it. Perform just underneath them here, looking over towards green. He's able to find a big kill onto Phantoms. That's a big stop. So now they should be able to hop onto the objective, and the pressure that they need to worry about now will be coming from Lights, of course. Aiming down sights, Archive stopped instantly in that one-on-one engagement. Didn't even shoot back, actually. And there's not a whole lot of pressure coming up from Bricks and Arches either. So we should see point B captured with the progress continuing at A. Whoa, UT Crew, the house is on fire right now, and y'all got to respond.
I mean, you got to pull up with something. You need a spree of kills here. They're just not getting it. Oh no,
God. Is that both points at the same
That's
time?
Both.
You hate to see it. You love to see it if you're Lore Gaming. That's a victory as they take the control on Garrison 3-1. Man!
That is demoralizing. That might be the most unbelievable game of Control I think I've seen in the entire Challenger season.
That was a
I don't even know
punishment.
what to say.
That
I
looked
don't
like
even
it
know what to
hurt.
say, Fox. I'm mind blown. I'm truly mind blown. I don't know what to say.
Great start from UT Crew in that Control for sure. First round or so of that Control was certainly a competitive one, and then afterwards we saw Lore Gaming really start to really just put it all together and come out on top. Massive victory.
No, I hate you. Don't try to normalize this. Don't you dare try to normalize this. What the hell was that game?
Sometimes you get gunned, you know?
Like, first you got 0 seconds, then you got situations where you have a clean setup and it gets broken somehow. I am lost for pure words. It is unreal being told we have the whole cap as part of the replay, so I can't wait to see it. But Fox, like, I love you for normalizing it, but don't, bro. Like, what the hell was this game?
No, it was nuts. It was nuts. We got to point out that the first few minutes of this Control was very different from the rest of the game. I mean, Lore Gaming came through and just gave it to him. Really, just delivered some real crushing blows throughout this map, I gotta say.
There is a slight refresh tick when you hop into a control point where it's naturally in the game's code. So if here Perform had jumped on when there was if he had jumped on after 0.1 seconds, the round would have been over. But he jumped on with 0.1, so the game naturally refreshed to 0-0, and I guess it counted as an integer, so it's a whole number. So it's like, okay, it's a full tick, it's fine, it's a full second. Like 0 is it's still a real second, right? Like it's a whole number, it's fine. But normally games end at 0, but 0 is still a real second. So naturally the integer just comes into the natural value in the code. And it's like, okay, you still got a full second. I'm explaining math. Like, this is what the hell happened?
I mean, we just watched a Control that came down to literally fractions of a millisecond, right? It was nuts. I mean, Lore Gaming, they used every second that they had. Very quick and efficient use of time there in that Control. I mean, it was just nuts. Lore Gaming, that's an awesome play.
Again, that is a thing you're never going to see again. That is like a 1 in a billion type situation that you would practice as like a joke in scrims. But wow, okay, well, here's a look at the map layout. UT Crew took game 1, Lore Gaming took game 2 in a very exciting S&D. I don't even want to talk about the Control. It was a 3-1 win for Lore Gaming. Okay, now we go to Checkmate Hardpoint, and this one hopefully is more standard to the physical rules of this universe, where things play out in a timely and orderly fashion, because we got a hard point on Checkmate. We know what the subs can do. We know what the AR pressure has to be like. Going into this, UT Crew's backs against the wall. I think that S&D was a bit demoralizing. Now you went into a Control where it's absolutely demoralizing, because there were situations where you should have won it and you didn't. Going into this, Fox, are we looking at a 3-1 win here for Lore Gaming? Is this going to be a 3-game sweep in the second part of the series?
I truthfully don't see how you come back from a loss like that on Garrison. I think that Lore Gaming puts it away nice and neatly here in the hard point. I mean, the first hard point from UT Crew was certainly well fought, but it was not preceded by a very demoralizing finishing blow on Control.
I think we're in a situation in uncharted territories here, where you have to, you have to win this. You lose this, the series is over. But just for morale, like, even if you go to game 5 and lose, UT Crew, you got to win this, because yeah, it's week 1, it's stage 5, but it's also stage 5. Like, these are situations that shouldn't be existing. Like, this is some season 1, week 1 type stuff. This should not be happening, and collapses like that in Control should not be happening this late into the season. This is going to be an interesting series, and we're going into a Control, a hard point, excuse me, on Checkmate. I believe we're all ready to go, but predictions going in, Fox. I think that Lore Gaming take this. How do you not? You have all the momentum on your side. How do you not come out and finish this series here?
They look too good right now to not close it out here. I don't even think we see them get to a game 5. Even if we do, I still think that's in their favor. Lore Gaming has got to feel confident at this point in the series, and they have got to feel ready to close it out right here and now. If you're on the side of UT Crew, I mean, gosh, you're coming off of that really just demoralizing beating in the closing moments of the Garrison Control. You got to bounce back. You got to trust the reset, right? Reset your mind, refresh your mind, and get into this game and treat it like a whole new map.
That's absolutely what you got to do. My mind is still blown, but hopefully we can put it back to pieces. Nice stick. And off the start, you're just looking for a little bit of contest time for both sides. You're not going to see P1 usually heavily favored for either side. That's usually around the second rotation, third rotation, where you can kind of feel the ebb and flow of the game. But off the start, Lore Gaming with a solid lead, right? 14 points and counting. They're already thinking about P2. Spawns are there for UT Crew, but now they spawn out. Phantoms all the way back at that back gun. And he has to worry about how you rotate all the way through mid-map.
Talking about mid-map, main control coming from Lore Gaming here on the hard point as they take a commanding 26-second lead right off the bat. Typically a very scrappy hard point. Stuck right on the forehead of Perform with that Semtex right there as we see the kill feed now flipped in white as UT Crew gets their first bit of numbers on the board. Hoping to shore up this deficit a little bit, but P2, the rotation has already begun as Lore Gaming also have the spawns for the hard point. Straight through the front line Jimbo goes, though, as he's able to find a kill and get out with his life. This cannot go unpunished, but it looks like he's about to find another kill before they can deal with him. Jimbo keeping the movement alive, and no one is keeping track of him. They completely lost him, and that's why we're seeing the hard point turned over the way that it is.
I mean, it was pretty standard off the rip. 20 points, then you rotate. You contest for a little bit, but still hold spawns. Archive disgusting with the Diamatti. One more contesting in the front. Lore Gaming getting wiped off the point thanks to Archives on a 5 spree, 6 and 3 to kick this one off. That nade will flush him out of his position and stop any streaks that might have been earned. 4 kills apiece for Lore Gaming, so that looks aesthetically nice, but doesn't really contribute to much when you've lost the lead. Lead continuing to grow with 20 points still to fight over, and Phantoms working through the back of NASA, puts shots down at range, but Ramby survives, and more importantly, they're getting ready for P3, and they're uncontested, working under the wing.
Oh, Jimbo all alone, swarmed by 3 different players. He gets one, he ends up not getting a single kill out of it. Of course, shot in the back of the head by Ramby there. And so the side of Lore Gaming, they're able to take over the control of crates before just losing gunfights instantly as they went to the old hard point. Now back to middle map, UT Crew already in a position to just walk a couple steps right over to it, hop into the objective, and Lore Gaming has yet to respond since the beginning of the game. The first hardpoint is the only one where they've been able to put time on the board.
5 kills all the way down, Perform at 4 and 6. I mean, it's been standard, but the lead continues to grow for UT Crew. It's almost like those last 2 games didn't even matter, and that's exactly the type of mindset you need to have going into this checkmate. You need to play like it's the start of a series. So far, they're doing it. Archives at 7 and 7 was off to a hot start, but slowed down quite a bit. Has nades in his pocket. If he chooses to use them, he will. They fly out, don't find anything. Perform under the wing. Perform out the challenge and gets gunned. Archives going to try to work his way in, but shots ring out to his left. Somehow he dips and dives right into a nade's path, and he will get shut down. Parasite on the top wing. Can't clean up much at the moment, but you know, with these early contests, it always favors Lore Gaming, but here come UT Crew with chances and kills, and they've chained them together for a solid chunk of time. Once more, they've rotated early, and they're set up for new.
Yes, off the back of the double kill from Phantoms, 2 headshots as he's able to hold it down on the back of the plane with his AR. Also, getting out alive and surviving the engagement against Perform that he was surely going to lose. We'll have to see what UT Crew does with this time that Phantoms has bought for his team. Catching Perform in the back as well. He just juked him out of his shoes right there and came out on top with the kill of the Diamatti. Plane control still in favor of UT Crew, who also has control of the objective.
Well, Phantoms gets shut down in plane, so that was your ticket to P5. Once he drops, Lore Gaming get that position, so the advantageous spot is here for the boys in blue. They get set up for Tetris. We rotate to our next set of hills with 18 seconds to go, still on P4. Still fighting over the scrap time, and chaos ensues, but it's all of the boys in blue. 60 seconds and counting. They're going to get that. And now we look at the rotation of Tetris, but behind is player 6. That's Dylan Rex. He gets a big gunfight win. He eventually gets shut down. But now we look at the Tetris rotation. Phantom's currently sitting, and he's in the top tower. That is a hard position to fight against if you're not careful.
Yeah, and he threw a trophy down at his feet, but Parasite still caught him from a distance. That's a big stop right there. They still have to worry about the players on the objective. They need to get the pressure up with the submachine guns in their face here shortly, because UT Crew has been able to mount so much time in this hard point. Ramby catches one in the plane. That's a good way to start it off here. Phantoms out in the open is stopped as well. Last 2 players are on the hard point, vulnerable and taken down just like that. Lore Gaming, they're able to turn over the hard point. UT Crew will still be spawning up so close to the point though, and they're pouring in just like that. A double kill from Jimbo, support from Phantoms as well. And they need to get the objective here shortly to find the scrap time.
You had 14 seconds, and you're basically leaving, you know, maybe 1 or 2 players in the hill to contest. That's about it. Couple of cheeky challenges there, but Around a 50-point lead for UT Crew going into P1 again. This is where P1 can be a bit of a money hill if you get clean kills and push them out. And then you set up for P2 and subsequent hills that follow. But a team kill doesn't help much. Rex inside has to reload, slide out for a challenge. He will at least get one before he drops. And Jimbo under screen will stay in this contest spot for as long as possible before reinforcements get there. Just throwing shots out and nothing hitting the back of the plane. But he will pick up Perform. Here comes the challenge again. Jimbo, shots are great. That's a lot of good time for UT Crew.
All pouring in through the tail end. It's Lore Gaming trying to keep their feet in this hard point. You see Jimbo able to back up through towards the cockpit with the support of Ramby here. Pistol. Throwing melees out here too. A lot of short range engagements here. But we see Yeez is able to come out on top with the AK-74U in hand. He also had the Krieg. I mean, this guy's just been able to move around so much, and that's why you see him with 4 kills in a row. Excellent footwork inside the plane here. 5 in a row now. This guy is just the muscle keeping Lore Gaming in this map.
And this is a huge next hill for Lore Gaming. You win this, you get at least 40 seconds. You're right back in this game. They cannot afford to give away 20 or 25 seconds of scrap time to UT Crew, because at that point, you have to worry about every single following hill. Huge gunfight that Parasite loses. Again, we don't like to harp on it, but that's the second time he's had to come up big and has not been able to answer the call. Nobody's getting on the point. UT Crew finally move their way in, Perform. Slow to rotate out, looking for Jimbo. And I think he spotted him. He did. He'll get that kill. Now the rest of the numbers need to collapse, but it's only a 3-man hit for 4 players. One spawns out. That's Parasite. Rex reads it, but Perform has the better shots. No worries, though. Jimbo coming off spawn will help things out. Inside is Lore Gaming, but only 18 seconds. They got about, what, 10, 15 seconds on this hill? Not what you needed. Now you have to worry about the rotation. You have to worry about the next hill.
Grab time once again going to UT Crew. They seem to come through these hills and get just what they need out of them, maintaining and extending that lead here by about 60 seconds as we rotate back to the center of the map underneath the plane for our next hard point. Perform is inside the objective. Parasite's upstairs finding kills as well as Yeez. Phantoms is at a distance catching people, but that's not going to do a whole lot for the objective here as he waits for his team to respawn and support him. Moving closer to the action. 2 sub players just around the corner. His team on the opposite side of the map doing a whole lot of damage around on the opposite side of the plane. Of course, crates still maintained by Jimbo. Kill time still going to Lore Gaming. Nobody from UT Crew has been able to set foot in the objective just yet. Jimbo looked like he was going to be the first, but again, cut short just before he can do it. So again, Lore Gaming, they're getting a little bit of time out of these good plays, but UT Crew seems to keep it to a manageable amount.
Yeah, and you need to be able to get a full 40, 50, 60 on these hills. You need to start being able to find ways to chain kills together and get into a situation where you're not just playing for 15, 20 seconds per hill. You need a strong one here, a strong hold going into the next one. 450 puts right back in this game at a tie game. But already, UT Crew are rotated out. And we'll see how Lore Gaming respond. Do they get their subs inside for good pressure? Do they get good time? That's the question. 2 more drop. And when you don't have reinforcements to help the aggressive subs inside, it makes the job that much easier because all it takes is 1 wipe and you're back at square one. Lore Gaming are having to work overtime and it works so much harder for the same amount of time that UT Crew's getting. UT Crew are in the driver's seat of this hard point, and we might be going to game 5.
Yeah, UT Crew has just been getting a whole lot more out of a whole lot less. I mean, they're trugging along here just fine against Lore Gaming in this hard point, bouncing back from that devastating loss in control. They've been looking really good, and Lore Gaming from the start of this game, they just never were in a position except for the very first hard point where it looked like they were in control. They're constantly responding and reacting to what UT Crew is doing.
Yeah, they're always playing off the back foot, always playing 2 UT Crew's rotations. Now we go to Tetris, which has expanded in the updates, and you can contest from pretty much anywhere now, right? But you need, again, a full 50 to keep this one close. Parasite, jumping, finding nothing. There's the slide. He will get 1, but he gets traded. So 1 more and still inside, and here we go. A couple of team kills there. The shots for everyone contributing. And with 40 seconds to go, this is anybody's game. This is the biggest hill for Lore Gaming. They need every single second. Parasite at 23 and 24. We've seen him go big in this position many times. They'll get help with Jimbo on the top of the plane. He'll shut down Rex. Archives on the other side, but they might have done their job just enough to keep them in the game.
Big opening double kill right there for Parasite. This is the longest that we've seen Lore Gaming hold the hard point. Certainly off the back of his play, Yeez is able to come out of that play alive and also support his team in front of the objective. But no one's getting the time here. Scrap time now just picked up by Lore Gaming, who only trails by about 20 seconds. Definitely the smallest deficit we've seen up to this point. Hopping into the hard point, though, it's going to be Jimbo taking the initial time. Also, first player in the lobby to break 30 kills for the side of UT Crew. 2 in the hard point, Performance jumping up to be challenged by both of them, and he is taken down. All players from UT Crew swarming in and around the objective. Lore Gaming, they got to get into the action here, and they got to do it quickly because the UT Crew is so close to closing out this map and forcing the game 5.
Before they even touch the point, it's chaos inside P1. But Lore Gaming can't get anywhere close to this hill. Finally, they might be able to move in, but Ramby's trying to figure out who's in the back. You just got to go. You just have to contest. They're not going to do it. Doesn't matter if that kill means anything. It won't. UT Crew untouched in the final hill, and they send us to a game 5.
UT Crew in complete control of that hard point, unfazed by the control, at least as far as we can tell. I don't know what the comms were like. They probably weren't great. But coming into the hard point here on Checkmate, they look poised, they look polished, they look good. I mean, Phantoms and Dylan Rex at a distance with the AR, a constant threat that Lore Gaming had to deal with. Parasite's double kills just weren't enough, and the submachine gun pressure, they didn't have enough space to work with to make it happen. And so we saw UT Crew just stamp that game out real quickly.
Yeah, they really did. I love the way you put that. They just stamped it out. And again, that's kind of the rebound game they needed going into a map-in mode where you get your Slayers on board, put them in overdrive, and let them work. And they did just that. Archives, who opened up the game on a 5 spree, was clicking. You had Phantoms, who's dishing out damage left and right. And this was a huge game. Obviously, keeps them alive in the series, keeps us going to a Express S&D for game 5. But they basically came out and acted like the last 2 games didn't happen. The S&D, the control didn't matter, didn't mean anything. It wasn't even in their minds. They stamped their way through this game. They took what was theirs. They took control of every single hard point. And Lore Gaming had to play off the back foot, right? Every single hill. They always had to play up to UT Crew. And on that last hill, they just couldn't get numbers. They literally getting shot before they ran in the plane. You can't contest, obviously. You're not going to get anywhere close to the hill. So it was very clinical. It was very direct, precise. Now we go to a game 5 S&D on Express. Again, a map the Parasite knows quite well, but we saw what happened in that last S&D. It was a strong start for UT Crew, a resurgence from Lore Gaming. What are you thinking going into this, Fox?
I'm thinking that Lore Gaming still has the upper hand coming into the Search and Destroy. They look great the first time around, and they still do have the confidence of how well they've been performing in this series outside of the hard point. I think that this is where you look to those S&D superstars, Ramby, Parasite, look to see them lead the way and play around them. On the side of UT Crew, I mean, it's real tough to call. We haven't really gotten to see these two teams go against one another too much just yet, getting into Stage 5 of the Challenger Series.
Yeah, we get into some situations like this, which are always chaotic, always fun. Again, we would love to know what you all are thinking in the YouTube chat. Tell us who you picking. But we got Express S&D coming up. It's been a long day of Call of Duty. It's been a fun one. I hope that you've been enjoying all of it. UT Crew and Lore Gaming going back and forth. UT Crew took first map, and they took the 4th map. They take both hard points. They lose the big chunk in the middle. And we always talk about Control being a swing game mode. Clearly today, or at least for this map specifically, it was not. Now we go to Express S&D. We go to the conclusion of day 1 of Stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series for North America. It has been a hell of a day with so many fun and exciting moments. This is some of the most chaotic COD we've seen in quite some time. But Fox, I don't remember if I actually asked you this because I'm just blanking, but who you predicting going into this? If I already asked you, I'm sorry, but who you predicting?
I'm looking at Lore Gaming. I think they take the game 5. Okay. I think they come through. I think that we see UT Crew put up several rounds. It'll be like a round 8, round 9 kind of game, and that's when we'll see it close out in the favor of Lore Gaming. Are you looking at a UT Crew or Lore Gaming here, Space?
Well, I don't know how this series has been going, but I look at the S&D and I say I think that the late game situations favor Lore Gaming, the way they played that raid. But I mean, it's hard because UT Crew came out in the hard point and acted like nothing mattered, and they were just smoking. So I don't really know, man. But I think looking at how the S&D in game 2 went, I mean, Lore Gaming in situations where UT Crew threw them different looks, Lore Gaming responded by countering it perfectly. So if that is the same way we play this, I think you're right. I think Lore Gaming will take it, but we can only wait and see as the players are almost ready to go. Final match of the night. Let us know what you thought of the stream so far in the YouTube chat. Let us know who you're taking in this one. Make sure to continue watching Challengers, because tomorrow, at the same time as we started today, we have more action kicking off consistently. We're going to be going through all these days, and tomorrow is the final day of week 1 of stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challenge Elite Series. It's going to be fun, going to be exciting. We start with Europe, we end with North America. You don't want to miss it, but we're all ready to go. Let's get into map number 5. Let's get into a decisive S&D.
Yes, there is money to be made, games to be played, and this S&D in particular, bombs to be planted. We're looking through the offensive round perspective of Lore Gaming as they move up towards the B-bomb site. Met by a little bit of opposition at a distance, but they have the first blood to make things a bit easier for them. Gunfights going down around Ticket Booth. Archives last alive for his team and on that line of defense. He's going to fall, and at a distance is Phantoms, left in a 1 versus 3 with the bomb down.
Phantom's got to reload. He got 8 bullets, bro. You have to worry about that. Perform might catch him. Phantoms, please.
He said, "This is all I need."
Absolutely not. Yeah, he said 1 bullet apiece. That's all I need. I appreciate the Master Chief vibes, but my God, you have to worry about 3 players. And it was Parasite who was able to find 2. Archives and Perform. We're battling it out, but Parasite as the guardian angel in the back takes care of everything. He's played this map a billion times. He is most known on this map for what he did to Nate Shaw with the Cap 40. And, well, 10 years later, he's still showing he can do it.
That he is. Offense now, it's time for UT Crew to make their offensive push towards the B-bomb site. Several players lining up all around Ticket Booth as Lore Gaming all wrap back over to try and stop them. Very, very quick conclusion to this round, I'm sure, is right around the corner as we're already in a 1 versus 1. And Lore Gaming are able to come out on top, hold their own on site, and go up 2-0 in the map.
These rounds go by quickly. You're not getting UT Crew in a position where they can set up much offensively. That's kind of the scary thing, right? Like, we see teams that always love to bull rush, and you see that a lot on that site. B is very much just win numbers, and you know, you probably win the round. But this is not a slower paced Lore Gaming like we saw on the Raid S&D, which then they picked up the kind of the momentum in rounds 4, 5, and 6. Lore Gaming are flying at this objective. They are flying at the site. They're winning trades. They're winning the team trade as well. Rambi even getting dangerous shots into Rex, who almost drops first blood again. Rambi's been a first blood machine today. Perform at 4-1. Bomb carrier is Parasite. They're working through the top of maps. Now, we'll see what they do.
Parasite's so close to the action here as the bomb carrier. It's not quite safe for Jimbo to peek outside the window, but if he did and looked down, he would see the bomb carrier beneath his feet. On the opposite side of the map, we see Phantoms is able to find that first blood for UT Crew, protecting the B-bomb site. Looks like this site is closed for business for the remainder of this round, unless they can take him down. And with the bomb on the opposite side of the map, they do not have a lot of time left to do it. 3 versus 4, it's just that much more difficult on offense. And we'll have to see how it all unfolds here, as Phantoms doesn't seem to be wanting to go anywhere.
Yep, and Phantoms didn't realize he crossed back into the step, so Phantoms now in a do-si-do in a 1v1. Oh, God, Rambi bamboozles him! Rambi gets the kill. Parasite gets the second. Jimbo absolutely demolished. What a retake. 2v1. Archives, please do it to him. Oh, Archives. Oh, Archives, the patience. Oh, you sweet man. The patience is so perfect. He's going to catch Parasite planting. All it takes is 1 peek. Archives went the wrong way. They're going to get the bomb down. Oh, my Lord.
I think he's worried about making noise. He's worried about making noise in this 1 versus 2. They hear him stomping loud as hell inside the train. He tags up 1. The gun engagement not going either way just yet, but it's certainly not in favor of Archives with 25 seconds left in this 1 versus 2 with the bomb down. 2 players and lockers. Again, just wasting his time today. He finds the kill. The Semtex behind him is all they needed to finish off, to rack up the damage for the last bit of that kill. And the 1v2 is lost. Parasite, we didn't get to see his double kill, but we saw in the kill feed, and now we kind of see here, he was able to catch 2 players around Ticket Booth off guard, while the ring around the rosy was happening on the elevator down bottom.
If Archives just jumps up out of Arrival and plays on top of the train, like if he waits like a split second right as they rotate it out, if he jumps on top of the train, he gets a free look on bomb and wins that round. That's all he had to do, and he just chose to hide because he didn't think they had enough time, and I don't blame him for the decision. It's small COD timings that, man, could have swung the round. First blood again. Parasite takes out Rex. Rex has been on the receiving end of a couple in this game. Ramby, who's been helping with that stat. Great position from Jimbo. He'll only get one, though.
Definitely the right spot to be. He catches one, made the most of his life right there in his positioning. Now we see a 3 versus 2 situation in favor of Lore Gaming. Looking through the perspective of Archives here, now left all alone as Phantoms dies out in the train. One top computers, one just around the corner in Hedges. He's certainly about to be pinched here shortly in Lockers as Archives is able to take down Ramby. Is he going to get away? No, caught on the ladder and headshotted just like that. Bomb is being defused by Yeez and Lore Gaming. They put themselves up in this map. Game 5 at 4-0. They're looking great right now, Space.
Yeah, again, situational awareness, nice nade, is here right now for Lore Gaming. Whatever UT Crew throws at them, they just handle it with poise and professionalism. Not that UT Crew aren't, but there are certainly levels to this right now. And in S&D, Lore Gaming have the advantage. For Phantoms, 1-4. Not super detrimental, but still, we got to point it out. 6-2 for Parasite, having a great game. Again, if they get first blood here, I mean, we're looking at a 5-0 lead.
That's right. You said it. There's definitely levels to this, and Parasite is right in his element right now. They're setting up shop at A. We saw the trophy system go into top computers, so expect to see Perform hop up in there and take a line of sight down the A bomb site line of sight. One just down below on Hedges. He's going to be able to catch Yeez. He does not get away with his life, though. A well-placed Semtex is going to be Yeez trading for himself. 3 versus 3 situation. Bomb is going down on the opposite side of the map on B. Ramby's actually all on his lonesome with all the noise that was made on the A bomb site. And now, post-plant positioning is in favor of Lore Gaming. So many UT Crew players are far away from the site. Closest one to it is Dylan Rex. But we should expect to see player 4 and player 1, that's Perform and Parasite, get onto the site and support him here from middle map.
Ooh, Ramby was in a position to make a huge play in and around the site. They're going to go and try to stick it. He was about to be John from Epsilon back in Black Ops 2. Perform, jumping up, might spot something. Oh my god, the spoiler. Oh my god, he gets him off the foot. Just has to escape with his life. They're going to stick it again. They're going to stick it again. Phantom for the challenge. Phantom for both. He needs to find Perform, but they're going to get it. Did they hop off? Did he get shot? What the hell is happening in this round? Lore Gaming get it again. I thought someone else came on to stick. Did he die on the bomb? I need a replay. I completely missed it. I know that they shot him off the bomb when one was sticking it.
Planted for mid. They planted for mid. It was Ramby on his lone on the site. He put the bomb down for his 2 teammates on middle map before dying. And they were able to waste his time. That's exactly what you want to do.
Thank you to production. We are being told, and thank you to Allie, wonderful co-caster, who told us that Parasite had train angle, or an angle from train, and was able to kill him. So that is how that other player disappeared. I was like, I swear, I saw 3 players around the bomb, and all of a sudden there was one. What the hell happened to the other guy? Okay. Thank you, Allie. You're wonderful. Everybody's dying. Everybody's dying. It's a team kill, though. It's an advantage to UT Crew. That's not a great nade, by the way. 3v2, minute 15. Shots continue to ring out. Performance pushing. Performance just pushing. I don't care. Give me all the kills. I'm going right up the gut. 7 bullets in the clip. 2v1. This is for the entire game here. 1v1. Oh, my sweet lord. Perform's going to do it.
The 1v2 to end it. Phantoms has bomb in hand. Just waiting patiently. He doesn't want to let him do it to him. Working with the last bit of information he has, he's just kind of hoping that Perform comes over to check this B bomb site in the wrong way. But it looks like Perform is just play it patiently here. Great vantage point from the balcony to see much of the map, from much of the middle of the map.
He's gonna catch him.
Looks like it. The timing might just work out perfectly for him here, unless Perform decides to wait it out.
Oh, here he goes. Perform 1v2. There's the map, and there's the series. Let him know. It was an interesting one. UT Crew will start leaving. So will Lore Gaming. All they need is Perform in the lobby. Imagine his controller just disconnects and they leave. But anyway, Lore Gaming get the job done. They win it in game 5, 6-0. Royal flush. Clean sweep, house. I don't know cards. Well done, Allie. Thank you for there we go. My mic just turned off. Thank you, Alex, for letting me know that Parasite was in train, because I had absolutely no idea. Everyone died. I'm thinking, where the hell did that last player go? That was a dominant S&D. Look, we can talk about it all we want, but UT Crew didn't do anything. They didn't get a single round. Lore Gaming outplayed them. They outperformed them. That was a dominant win. Alex, your thoughts?
That's it. That's all you have to say. That's it. It was a dominant win. Show's over. That's it. sign off. But that entire S&D was literally just Perform and Parasite. That's all it was. That's all it was. When Perform went 4-0 and they were up 2-0, I was like, that's it. That's chalk it. Perform's 4-0. There's just absolutely no way. But I will say UT Crew has a very clean hardpoint. I don't think it's the worst situation for them. They have very good hardpoint, but that S&D, man, that was rough. That was rough to go through.
Something's got to change with that game mode, for sure. At least in this matchup.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Fox. And Allie, again, like you hit the nail on the head, right? Something's got to change, and we got to see if UT Crew can just fix those small mistakes. But again, they got outplayed in the S&D, and sometimes you want to, again, it sounds stupid, but sometimes you'd rather be outplayed than just make mistakes that cost you. They just got flat out outplayed in that game 5, but there were moments in this entire series where they gave this series away, and you can't do that. Hopefully they go back to the drawing board, fix that for the rest of the weeks. But here's how today worked, folks. Elevate defeated Amelia Strays 3-0, and that was the only time we had a clean sweep on the main stream. Belgium Power defeated GCPW 3-2 in a game 5 in a terrific final match for Europe, and Jabbawockeez defeated Trash Bros 3-1 in an interesting matchup that was just as crazy as you'd predict. And then finally, for the last match here for North America, Lore Gaming take it in game 5 in one of the weirdest series I've ever seen in the history of Call of Duty. But here is a look at tomorrow's matchups, because that is what is on all of our minds before we get some nice, wonderful sleep. Team War versus Mavericks will kick off the stream, followed by Rejects V2 and Orgless. That's going to be a banger. Team Canada versus No One Shoots Back, another banger for North America. And UYU welcome back into the Challenger Circuit versus Built by Gamers. That is going to be unreal to close out the stream. Tomorrow has the best slate of matches, in my opinion. Today was the craziest, but final thoughts, guys, on the matchups coming tomorrow. Anything that stands out? I know Allie's excited about UYU and BBG. I know you really well. Fox, talk to me about today, how it's gone. What are you thinking?
We had some pretty insane highlight reel worthy plays happening just on stream today. And if that's an indication of what we're in for the rest of the series as we head into playoff, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the competition. It's been a great day one.
Allie, looking at any matchups tomorrow, anything stand out to you?
Tomorrow specifically, I think they're all gonna go the distance. We are gonna have a very long, wonderful day of Call of Duty tomorrow, and we had a really long day of Call of Duty today too, and we had some really exciting matchups, especially our last one that we just watched, Lore and UT Crew. I have nothing to say about watching the series from the back. I'm sure all of production just saw my face the entire time, which is mind-blowing, while also trying to fight off a gnat in my room. But it's been a great day one, and day two, will be just as good.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, but we have to leave it there. We will see you guys tomorrow at the same time per usual. You don't want to miss it. We got Europe up first. So many wonderful matchups coming tomorrow. It's a beautiful time to be a Call of Duty fan. And then North America to close out the day at 5 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, but you don't want to miss it. This is the end of the regular season. This is week 1 of Stage 5 of the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Series, and today was an absolute banger. My head exploded. Yours did as well. Let's see if it happens again tomorrow. We'll see you then.